Do not worry.
How's it going, everybody? Welcome to a brand new Do Not Worry stream. I'm your host, Anthony, coming to you live from the heart of Lebanon in the 09. It is 6:01 p.m. right here in Beirut. Welcome, everyone, to this American news update stream. I wasn't even sure if I was going to talk about this stuff, but we are, guys. We're talking about Abdul El-Sayed winning the Michigan, the primary race against Haley Stevens. He's now going to be the Democratic nominee to go ahead and face the Republican candidate. Mike Johnson? Fuck's his name? Anyways, how's everybody doing? We got Miles Murphy, Polgaroka Briarleaf. How's it going, Briarleaf? Hope you guys are doing good. Miles Murphy, Cork, MMC. Haley D, how's it going? Welcome, everyone. It's going to be a pretty chill stream. We're going to be talking about a couple of pieces of news, including John Fetterman's appearance on Jon Stewart. Now, where's that's still happening on Comedy Central. I hope I don't get copyrighted for reacting to that footage. YouTube is weird with all of that stuff, but we're going to be talking about that. We got some Ariana Grande updates. We got some updates from Ariana from Burger King. Lots of little things to talk about in the process. But before we get going, folks, just a quick reminder. I just wanted to thank our lovely YouTube members. We got some members in the chat right now, and some members/patrons like Wilhelmina and Haley. Thank you guys so much for being members/patrons. Patrons, by the way, you can now enjoy Karine's Fantasy Board Review. Episode 2 is now officially out on Patreon. It dropped today. 1 hour and 20 minutes. Okay? 80 minutes of Karine reading and reviewing and discussing Morning Glory Milking Farm, folks. It happened, finally. The Eel Pit. People who have called this my Eel Pit. It's officially on Patreon. The video's out. Here's a little taste. Well, that's just a picture. Sorry. Is that a picture? What is this? Oh, yeah, that is. I did take a screenshot, didn't I? I did take it. Well, here's the video.
Hello, everybody.
Just go to a random place.
Fucking veered off a cliff. She's obsessed with him. She's in love with him. So as she's milking him at this night, she starts imagining things. She could easily imagine herself having the conversation in bed on a Sunday morning, curled against his side as her hand moved, feeling the hot huff of his breath against her. It was a cozy thought, a warm thought. And she closed her eyes, immersing herself in the daydream fully. She could almost feel the silky, coarse hair that covered him, imagined rubbing her nose against his chest.
Okay, that's enough of that, folks. If you guys want more of that, consider joining Patreon. It is now the video. It tells the story, folks, the brave story. And it's brave. This book is brave. Of a pharmaceutical employee that works at a pharmaceutical company whose job it is to milk minotaurs because their milk contains the essence for a new medical breakthrough. So, and she falls in love with one of the minotaurs that she's supposed to milk. I believe that is what the story is. So it is up on Patreon right now. Patrons, you're welcome. It only took 5 months, but your exclusive content has smacked you in the face. Hope you guys enjoy it. Enjoy. If you're not a patron, consider joining. There's also episode 1, which Karine and Nour filmed together, which talked about another weird-ass book where someone was like bestiality and stuff. It's like having sex with like a bear or something, a werewolf. I can't remember. So enjoy. Congratulations to our patrons. But back to our members. Members, you guys are going to be getting some exclusive live streams starting this week, I believe, hopefully. Perhaps Sunday, an exclusive live stream for the members. Meanest Machine says, I just clicked on stream and I'm seeing Morning Glory Milking Farm. That's what happens here on the Do Not Worry podcast. Let me thank some other members, such as Taylor Escobar, Noodleicious, Search and Destroy, Coney Champagne, Good Old Fashioned, Sloplo Mazaytun Zero, what? Bessie. Thank you, Bessie. Appreciate you. Also, other lovely members such as DG Salmon 7318. Salmon, so look at that. Salmon. Hey, Slow Down 12. As well as Shinamud. Thank you so much, guys. Whether you've been a member for 1 day and you've been gifted a membership, whether you've been out there supporting us for 16 months and gifting memberships, we appreciate you. We thank you. Thank you so much. You guys make sure the channel can keep going. So do our patrons. Our patrons, as I mentioned, you guys have just gotten access to Morning Glory Milking Farm. Finally, episode 2 of Fantasy Board Review, starring Karine. Patrons such as our superhero patrons, like Legal and Lipstick, Ezekiel B, Fadi Mac, A Rose for You, Rhea D. Blonde patrons like Bertram Balk, Riz, Lipton Ramen, Dopamax, Bahad Ahmad, El Salim, and it's Dylan. Thank you so much. And abductee patrons like Villamina, Joseph Ramirez, Mother's Milk, Selena Francis, Polish Pusher, Refuzz, Stechamo Peach, Daphne, RC207. We appreciate you. We love you. Thank you very much. Go ahead and enjoy that content. 80 minutes of Morning Glory Milking Farm. We thank you and appreciate you. Also, later tonight, folks, later tonight, I'm going to be over on Tino's Playroom, my second channel, and I'm going to be starting my clone army. Okay, as you guys know, I'm working on this massive Star Wars Clone Wars mock. Mock means my own creation. It's a custom Lego build that you can do, you know, yourself. It's not like a pre-made set, although I'm using a lot of pre-made sets to make this bigger mock. So tonight I'm going to be basically just assembling my clone army. I have a bunch of battle packs. I'm going to be opening them up and assembling just clones. I got like 40 of those bastards, so we're going to be building clones tonight, folks. Maybe a couple of their smaller ships, maybe Obi-Wan Starfighter, who knows, but we're just going to sit down, put some clones together, geek out, talk, have fun. It's going to be super chill stream. So that's happening later tonight, 9 p.m. That means 3 hours from now, give or take. Okay, I might have to delay it 30 minutes depending on how long this stream goes, just so that I can get a little break. But it's going to happen. So thank you guys so much. Subscribe to the channel. There's a lot of fun stuff that happens there, a lot of gaming. We are picking back up on Dark Souls. Also, tomorrow, most likely, we are doing a Lebanon... Tomorrow, folks, we are doing a Dr. Food deep dive. The Dr. Food mania is back. Dr. Food was recently charged with manufacturing and distributing drugs in his wafers factory, and he was sentenced to life in prison and hard labor. He is also getting a divorce from Shrew, and now they are like talking all about their divorce on social media. It's insane, folks. Dr. Food is going to jail and is getting a divorce, so a lot to talk about. We might even also try to cover, there's been some local Arab music drama. There is the Palestinian rapper Sheb Jdid, who fired some shots at Saint Laurent, who's a Lebanese Palestinian sort of like R&B hip-hop artist. And there's like there's beef, folks. They're beefing. Who has the right to speak for Palestine? Who has the right to represent Palestine with their music, etc., etc. We're gonna try to fit that in tomorrow. I'm sure we have time. I'm sure we'll have time to fit that in with the Dr. Food conversation. So tomorrow, a Lebanon-centric episode, like the good old days. Hope you guys enjoy. La la. We got a nice little debate happening in chat about Abdul El Sayed and Haley Stevens. Do not have time to catch up with all of that, but I'm sure you guys are making some good points. The issue is that while the U.S. is everyone's problem, there's nuance sometimes that can be overlooked. It's so defeatist to insinuate there's a better option than someone who isn't paid for by AIPAC. Insinuate there's a better option. Oh, we got Karma Caddy from Finland. Oh, hello from Finland. Hello, Finland. How's it going? It's still so hot, by the way. I'm like melting over here, guys. We're still in mid heat wave here. Also, I'm just going to throw a link for Tino's Playroom in the chat. Subscribe if you haven't. But also, just a reminder, you don't need to be a member. You don't need to be a patron. You don't need to send in a super chat or gift memberships to support the channel. It is more than enough for you to simply like the video, subscribe to the channel. Subscribe to the channel. We are on a subscriber drain again. Lost 21 subscribers in the last couple of weeks. That's I don't know why that happens. It's always weird. And we're always like, I'm just over 30K. We're just over 30K. So if this keeps going, we're going to go back to 29K, folks. So if you're concerned, if you want me to stay at 30K, make sure to subscribe. Make your friends and family subscribe. Let's go. Anyways, we're going to... God, it's so hot. It's so sweaty. We're going to start with the Burger King story. Let's start with the Burger King story. And then we're going to move on to a couple of other little pieces of news, then onto some bigger news. And then we're going to have some fun, guys. We're going to have some fun. Y'all ready? Okay. As you guys remember, just a couple days ago, we talked about this story. A guy called Rami Feinstein was ordering food for his family. I'm just trying to feed my family. And an employee in Ariana asks him where he's from. He says Israel. She says free Palestine. And then he took that as fuck the Jews, basically. If someone says free Palestine, Zionists hear fuck the Jews. That's what they hear. So they petitioned to get her fired. Let's watch the original video again.
I'm here at Burger King, and an employee in Burger King just said free Palestine to me. Ariana, what did you...
I love that free Palestine is an insult now. How crazy is that? Someone just saying free Palestine is taken as an insult. This person told me that the Jews should burn in hell. Bro, she just said free Palestine. Like, they don't agree with the policies that you have over in Israel, with how you treat Palestinian people. You know, that's all she said. Free the Palestinians. Let them live. Let them share their own land with you. But no, that's an insult.
What did you say to me? What did you say to me, Ariana? What did... Okay, Ariana. Because I was just ordering food for my family, this woman looks at me and she says, "Where are you from?" I said, "I'm from Israel." And then she says, "Free Palestine." And I said, "What does that have to do with anything? We came here to order food." But she insisted, "Free Palestine." What, say it again. Free Palestine. I got you, Ariana. Here at Burger King. No problem. So back in the car right now, obviously very upset, but we asked for a refund.
We're very upset. We were traumatized. I was traumatized. You know, I went to Burger King to feed my family, and now I have been insulted. Someone told me that we must free the Palestinians and treat them with respect, dignity, and equality, which, you know, for a Jew, that is the greatest insult we can hear. Because I am a Zionist, and that's what I believe, and this is what I'm trying to spread.
And we left the place, leaving me with the question, Burger King, are you a safe place for Jews right now?
Because as you know, saying free Palestine is the equivalent of beating a person down with a stick. Because Ariana hopped over the counter, right? Grabbed a bag of French fries, a bag of frozen French fries, and bashed him on top of the head with it. And then the rest of your family Jewish too? And then she beat the living fuck out of them. That's what he's making it sound like. But she just said, "Oh, you're from Israel? Free Palestine. Free Palestine." Why are you treating your Palestinian brothers and sisters like that? They took that as a grave, grave insult. So there was a petition to get her fired. This lady, you know, tagged Burger King. Hi, Burger King. They even shared the address of the Burger King location where this happened, etc., etc. Ariana is harassing Jews, etc., etc. Well, folks, the same lady that shared that story has shared an update. And it's unfortunately the update that we all expected. We feared the worst, and the worst happened, folks. Update: Ariana has been fired from Burger King. This after hateful and harassing remarks to a Jewish Israeli. Speak up always. This person says then she can go to McDonald's. Fuck you, Zionist scumbag. I don't think McDonald's is any better, my guy. Blowback. I think McDonald's is just as bad. So it does seem like Ariana was fired. Not surprising. These companies want to avoid any controversy, okay? If one of their employees, you know, accidentally sneezes over someone's meal and it's filmed by someone's cell phone, they're getting fired. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's this was never gonna work out. But yeah, fucking Burger King, dude. That's why you should boycott Burger King. Burger King has been on the BDS list from the beginning. You shouldn't be eating Burger King. You shouldn't be having any McDonald's anyways. So what an unfortunate turn of events. But I mean, what a badass. This just highlights what a badass Ariana is, putting your principles ahead of your fucking paycheck, okay? This is what, when we criticize the H3 crew for taking the money, taking the paycheck, despite the show that they work for and the hosts that they work for doing and saying horrendous fucking things and harassing people online and suing them, frivolous lawsuits, etc. They choose to stay silent. They choose to keep earning their money. This person wasn't even, like, she didn't even argue with the corporation. She just saw, like, a customer that she disagreed with, an Israeli person, and all she said was free Palestine. Then they turned on their phone. She could have been quiet at that point, like, oh shit, they're filming me now, they're gonna try to get me in trouble, I'm just not gonna say anything. She stood her ground. She said free Palestine twice. She insisted. She even did the little, like, shrug, like, what free fucking Palestine. And you know what, I'm sure karma is going to pay her back. I'm sure she's going to end up finding a bigger and better job, better paying. There's millions of people that have seen the story, that are following her, that respect Ariana for what she said and did. And I'm not really worried for her, guys, if I can be honest. If I'll be honest with you, I think she's going to be fine, you know? And good riddance, you know what I mean? Hopefully, I just hope she gets a job quick, because, you know, we don't understand people. Sorry, I'm just trying to... We don't know people's circumstances. We don't know... you know, sorry, I was fixing something on my OBS. We don't know what kind of financial situation she's in, if she's caring for a family member, someone with a disability. She needs every single paycheck to be able to make ends meet. Whatever it is, she put that all at risk to fucking stand her ground and tell this Israeli motherfucker, free Palestine. So we gotta respect it. Haley says, honestly, I'll give to a GoFundMe for her if she makes one. You know what? That would be a great idea. I hope someone has made a GoFundMe. Let's look it up, actually. Because people do GoFundMes for everything, dude. Burger King, Ariana. GoFundMe. But it's also rife with like people, opportunists that can start fake GoFundMes. Yo, it's happened. GoFundMe. Support Ariana after job loss for free speech. $7,000 raised out of $10K. But again, I don't know how true. So is this really her? My name's Ariana, and I'm reaching out for help during a really difficult time. I recently lost my job because I said free Palestine. I want to be clear that I wasn't antagonizing anyone. I was simply exercising my freedom of speech. Unfortunately, this led to me being let go, and since then, it's been a struggle to find new employment. Some places have misunderstood me, and I'm worried about being unfairly judged, which has made my job search even harder. I'm scared about how I'll pay my bills and support myself in the coming weeks. Right now, I'm doing everything I can to get back on my feet, but the uncertainty is overwhelming. The funds from this fundraiser will go directly toward covering my basic needs like rent, utilities, and groceries while I continue searching for a new job. Your support would give me the breathing room I need to recover from this setback and move forward with hope. Any help, no matter how small, would mean the world to me right now. Thank you for taking the time to read my story and considering a donation of sharing my fundraiser. Your kindness and support can make all the difference as I work to rebuild and find stability again. So this is from Ariana Hamilton. She's the organizer. Thank you all so much for supporting me. I will continue to speak my truth. Ariana Hamilton from Allentown, Pennsylvania. Let me just make sure. I mean, I don't want to share anything that I don't want you guys to donate accidentally for the wrong thing. Yeah, Pennsylvania. So the original tweet said that the Burger King location was in Pennsylvania. So that's kind of consistent with where she's from. Pennsylvania. I'm guessing like you can't just start a fundraiser without GoFundMe sort of verifying your I shared the link in the description of the video. In the live chat, sorry. I mean, look, she's already at $7,000. That's fucking awesome. That's great. That's way more than she's making at Burger King. I can tell you that much. There's Ariana. Okay, we got some more pictures. Definitely seems like the right Ariana there. Sarah, how's it going? I mean, hey, shit. So if you guys want to support, it seems, I mean, do your own verification. Obviously, do the checks that you guys need to make sure that that's her. That's the real Ariana. I don't know, but I'm guessing there's got to be some kind of verification that happens on GoFundMe, like ID verification or something, or else anyone can pose as anyone and just, start claiming money on people's names. So I've shared the link in the live chat. Consider donating if you want to, but again, I cannot verify this. I cannot verify. So she's been fired, but also here, so if you look at, if you click sort of because it was trending, it's like, it's on today's news, it's literally like a trending topic. There's been 8,000 posts about the story. You got a minimum wage worker of color fired for opposing a genocide. What a moral victory. Yeah, that's insane. Fuck Burger King, boycott those bastards. Burger King apologizes to Israeli customer after employee shouts free Palestine. So yeah, and you need to apologize for saying free Palestine now. Does she even know what it means? I want to hear Ela and Ethan Klein's take on this. Does she even know what it means to say free Palestine? Does she know that when she says free Palestine, she's actually saying kill all the Jews? Did you know that? What does it mean to free Palestine? What's a free Palestine anyway? Do you know what it means? She wants to kill all the Jews by unleashing. You don't free a Palestinian, you unleash a Palestinian because they're like rabid animals. There's no freeing, it's unleashing. It's like having a hungry dog in a cage and then opening the cage. The dog is gonna run around and bite and maul everybody. That's what it is. So, when you say free Palestine, what we Israelis we hear is unleash the Arabs. Unleash the Arabs to ruin our beautiful Tel Aviv, our clubbing scene, our tourism. We have clavicular visiting, making kick. Streaming on Kick about how beautiful, how safe Israel is. So, never again. Never. So, there's some insane shit. Nick W says, how does free Palestine mean unsafe for Jews? Complete non sequitur, lame victim mentality. PNN. Friend of the show, PNN. Says, Burger King, hero still exists. Burger King fired Ariana. She's far too good for them, so probably for the better. Justice for Ariana. GoFundMe for Ariana. Protect Ariana at all costs. Okay, let's see. Do they have the GoFundMe link somewhere here? Boom. Yeah, so it does seem like it's a legitimate GoFundMe. So let's go. Someone said donated. Let's see. Do I still have that open? Burger King. Yeah, they're getting them donations. Good job. Good job, dude. Good job. Hopefully she gets, I mean, look, if she gets to 10K, dude, that's like 3 months, 4 months worth of Burger King salary. She'll find a job. She's going to be good, man. She's going to be good. Art Chair Lab, how's it going? How's it going? What else? What else are the people saying? Getting people fired for saying free Palestine in a free country, a way to advance your cause. Zero self-awareness. Then you wonder why support for Israel is at an all-time low. Freedom of speech isn't freedom of from consequences. Good on Burger King for doing the absolute bare minimum and taking a zero-tolerance stance against harassment. The most petty, spiteful person on the planet. Yeah, Jesus fucking Christ, dude. This Burger King is now going to see business boom with customers wanting to give this girl a high five. Which girl? Ariana? Yeah, well, I mean, not anymore. She's been fired, unfortunately. I would have gone to that Burger King. Shit, I would have gone to that location to get a spicy chicken royale. That's what would have happened. Palestine Network says she needs a $100,000 GoFundMe. Oh, he's a singer-songwriter? Rami Feinstein is a singer-songwriter? So what I saw here was that he's a propagandist. Burger King anti-Semite dude is an Israeli propagandist. Rami Feinstein. Let's find his YouTube. Ew. He's got 500 subs. Okay. Come on, man. Let's watch one of his music videos. We're going to have to mute that shit because I'm not getting fucking copyrighted for Rami Feinstein. Let me tell you that much. Akron, 7 months ago. Does he mean Akron, Ohio?
Seems to love LeBron James.
What? Everybody seems to love LeBron James?
Everybody.
Dude, what's this guy's deal with fast food? Look, the first shot of his music video has a McDonald's in the background. Is this all you eat? Yesterday, I was feeding my family in McDonald's. Nobody told me free Palestine. Today, I come to Burger King to feed my family again. You tell me free Palestine? What is going to happen tomorrow at Wendy's? Are the people at Wendy's are also going to tell me free Palestine?
Everybody seems to love LeBron James.
It's a good opening, you know. Everybody seems to love LeBron James. But nobody loves Israel.
He's done a lot for this town.
The fuck, dude? Why are you touching these children?
Hard to remember more names. Like everybody's giving me food. I gained some weight. I don't want to be rude.
Oh my god, man, just sing in Hebrew. Why are you trying to sing English? You got a shit accent. What's going on? Guys, he's bringing Israel to Ohio. He's bringing Israel to Ohio.
There are things that I would never understand.
Haley says he looks like Sloth from the Goonies.
Crazy high.
Okay, I can't. Oh, Lord. He does look like Sloth. Oof. The guy looks like the dude from 300. My God. So the dude's a singer-songwriter, Israeli propagandist. Beautiful. So justice for Ariana. Let's hope. Let us hope that Ariana gets all the cash she needs and all the support she needs, you know? to be able to find another job. Hopefully not work for a while. Shit, if she makes 100 grand on GoFundMe. Fuck getting a job for a couple of years. Shit, go travel, have some fun, girl. Goddamn. So this is kind of crazy. We've been talking about the Spider-Man movie that did some record-breaking box office, made a lot of money. I did a review about it a couple days ago if you guys want to go and watch it. A New York Post says an entire theater was evacuated during Spider-Man screening due to moviegoers' uncontrollable bout of rotten flatulence. So someone in a theater was out there farting up a storm, and the farts were so bad and smelled so toxic that they had to evacuate the whole theater. And then some people like refused to come back. They were offered refunds. They were like, hey, all right, we cleared out the smell. You guys can come back in. So people were like, nah, man, I'm not coming back in. I'm not coming back in. Let's read the article, shall we? Entire theater evacuated during Spider-Man screening due to moviegoers' uncontrollable bout of rotten flatulence. Not even Spidey sense could have prevented this odiferous attack. A Spider-Man screening in Cartagena, Colombia. Oh, this was in Colombia. And I've been to Cartagena. I went to Cartagena for a wedding many years ago. A Spider-Man screening in Cartagena, Colombia was evacuated after one of the audience members suffered from an extreme fart attack. The gas leak, oh my god, dude, occurred on August 2nd on Spider-Man Brand New Day at the Cine Colombia Multiplex inside the Plaza Boca Grande shopping center, Jam Press reported. Is it the guy in the spider suit who farted? Why is everyone showing his picture? As if he's the one who did it, dude. Why are they blaming Spider-Man? Everything was going swimmingly until halfway through the film when a flatulent filmgoer decided to let her rip. Oh my god, dude. The theater goers proverbial pumpkin bomb filled the... Oh, dude. There are so many puns in this fucking article, but this must have been a fun one to write. I'm not gonna lie. This was a fun one to write. The theater goers' proverbial pumpkin bomb filled the darkened auditorium with a horrible odor, prompting audience members to flee their seats in disgust. Hundreds of film fans were reportedly evacuated into the hallway. Footage shows the aghast film fans milling about in the corridor alongside someone dressed in a Spider-Man suit. While the screening was not officially canceled, droves of viewers decided to leave before the end of the credits on account of the stench. Folks, this is important stuff that we're covering here, okay? Important stuff. As of yet, the culprit has not yet been identified, although reports claim they either detonated a stink bomb as a prank or didn't make it to the bathroom in time. God damn, bruv. That's insane, dude. Sorry, I'm trying to... Where can I... By the way, everybody, here's a little gift. Here's a little gift from Uncle Anthony, folks. Here's a little gift. Here's a little gift for everybody in the chat. We got 5 gifted memberships for the Do Not Worry podcast. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go, everybody. Enjoy. I get 10 free memberships to gift every month, which I only discovered last month. So I would have been doing this for a fucking year had I known. But everybody enjoy your memberships, baby. Enjoy some memberships. Let's go. We got 5 new members. We're at 362 members. 362. Let's go. Also, good news. If you're a member of Tino's Playroom, I just created a handsome discount on Tino's Playroom. Memberships went from being $5 to $3 on Tino's Playroom. So if you're a member of my other channel, your membership, you might notice that your membership was automatically canceled because when you delete a membership level, it gets automatically deleted. And now if you choose to rejoin Tino's Playroom, it's going to be a little bit cheaper for you guys. I wanted to make it a bit cheaper, a bit more incentive for everybody to join. If everybody chooses to gift memberships, it'll be a little bit cheaper for you guys. So Tino's friends, okay, any member of Tino's Playroom, your current membership level no longer exists, but you can consider rejoining at a lower rate. You're welcome, everybody. You're welcome. And also, we just got a super chat from Indy Hanson. Thanks so much with 5 Australian dollars. Says, I have insane anxiety at looking at Twitter with all the posts warning about how graphic Perez Hilton's video is. Oh, yeah. I don't think you're going to see any Perez Hilton stuff here because all of the Twitter links that I have open, Indy Hanson, don't worry, are links that I've already chosen. So it should only be whatever links or tweets that I've chosen, and then we're going to scroll down to look at some replies. I'm not like free searching Twitter. Don't worry. I did read about the Perez Hilton thing. He was live streaming himself and he was self-harming and there was a lot of blood and stuff. I've not seen any of the footage myself. And I've also not engaged with that story a lot on Twitter, so hopefully they're not going to feed me any of that stuff. But don't worry, my Twitter, all of these Twitter links are pre-selected tweets, so we shouldn't get any nasty surprises. I'm sorry you're having to dealing with that. I read a description that's super nasty. I chose not to talk about it because I don't know much about Perez Hilton. I know he used to cover like entertainment news back in the day, and it seemed like a very private, sort of disturbing story that I don't even know how to handle. So yeah, we're definitely not going to look at that. Don't worry. We're not going to be covering that. We hope the best. You know, we wish him the best. Obviously, he's going through some struggles. But yeah, thank you so much for supporting the channel, by the way. It's very kind, Indy. Very kind. Here's a video of the situation outside the theater, folks. They got music in the back, bro. So Spider-Man, yeah, it's like she's trying to figure this out. Like, who farted in the theater? We need backup over here. We got to figure this shit out, yo. Dude, I think it was Spider-Man, dude. He definitely fucking farted. He's got his face covered and everything. He's definitely fucking guilty, dude. Trung Fan says, can't decide what's funnier. A rancid fart cleared out a theater showing for the new Spider-Man film, or a jacked cosplaying guy in Spider-Man suit was immediately on his phone getting to the bottom of the situation. Von Gut says, did you see that H3 is actively recruiting licensed therapists to discuss this on their dog shit show? To discuss what? The Perez Hilton situation? Damn. They're talking about Perez Hilton? I don't even know how to talk about this. Like, it seems yeah, they're doing a lot of true crime podcasts, I noticed, or true crime like coverage. Von Gut says fits in with their new true crime nonsense where they just mock victims. Yeah, that's fucking crazy. Anyways, that's the fart situation. Statues in DC. People are upset. These are bronze sculptures which have been absolutely destroyed by gilding them. The detail, patina, the character of the art completely gone. This is what they looked like before. When I was in DC, actually, I saw a bunch of these statues like sanctioned off, quartered off, covered in a bunch of stuff, like suggesting that there was work and renovations taking place. My sister was very upset about that. My sister is big into architecture and stuff. She was like, I can't believe they're like, you know, replating these things with gold or something. That's what they look like now. Holy shit, dude, that is kind of horrendous, isn't it? It's pretty ghastly. Oi, that's way too shiny, man. This looks like a Trump hotel. Genuinely. God damn, bro, that is distracting. So anyways, yeah, this is what they used to look like. You can see all the detail with the weathering. You know what I mean? As it kind of loses its shine, you can exactly see all of the features and all the hard work and all the detail, like the hair, the individual beard hairs. Like, look at this, the individual strands of hair, the horse hair, the muscle detail. Look at all the, I mean, look how muscular this horse is, like in its front sort of legs. It's done. Sorry, just got a quick message. There we go. Boom. Sorry. And now it looks like this, dude. That is gross. I mean, look, to be fair, you can still kind of see the muscle detail and stuff. So a lot of the details are still kind of visible. And with time, it should look better. But someone put there's been a community note. Says these sculptures titled Sacrifice and Valor have been fire gilded since their original installation in 1951. They are not plain bronze statues that were recently altered. The current work is a restoration of the gold leaf surface that was previously refreshed in 1971. So, I mean, apparently they have been doing this for a while. Look, I don't really know. I was never in the States in 1971. I wasn't alive. So I don't know what they've been doing with these things, but they do look ugly. Even if this is something that they've been doing since the 70s and it's always looked like this, it looks fucking ugly. Like, it's just tasteless. You know what I'm saying? No one with taste would approve something like this. So whether or not these have been gilded for the first time or not, but then I saw comments saying that, like, hey, just wait for the winter to come around. The gold leaf will kind of like compress and then just break off. So that's good news. This person says they look like gold-covered horses. It's hideous, can't see the details at all. My Trump can kill a beautiful thing like this while we pay for it. They were so cool before, don't worry. When metal freezes, there we go. When metal freezes, it contracts. As soon as winter hits, the gold will fall off, which I think that'd be pretty nice. Looks like a cheap-ass 6th grade participation trophy. Yeah, that's the thing. It just looks cheap as hell, man. It just looks cheap and tacky. Extremely tacky looking. Like, what the fuck? Goddamn, man. No, that's all taxpayer money, dude. It's either to make America actively uglier, pay for a bunch of U.S. soldiers, you know, to walk around Washington, D.C. to make it safer, insane, or just bomb kids or make statues look hideous. Haley says, better than the horse popcorn bucket. To be honest with you guys, after watching The Odyssey, I wish I bought that popcorn horse bucket. I wish I bought the popcorn, the popcorn, but yeah, the horse popcorn bucket and the IMAX camera. I might still try the IMAX camera popcorn bucket is still available to buy. I might actually buy that one. It's $50 though. It's not worth it. It's fucking not worth it. But just to put stuff in, and I like IMAX, okay? Shit. Also, in other Trump makes America worse news, and this one's really fucking depressing. Trump announces that he's rolling back protections for endangered fucking species. Like, are you shitting me? For far too long, radical climate activists attempted to hold our great country hostage by drastically and unreasonably expanding the intended scope of the Endangered Species Act. This was complete and total regulatory overreach by unelected bureaucrats. They treated Americans very unfairly by stifling the production of important resources like oil, natural gas, and timber, and blocking the construction of family homes and critical infrastructure. Even our military couldn't train on land that was deemed off limits to protect a little rodent. Now my administration has returned the Endangered Species Act to how it was intended to be, just as the great Justice Antonin Scalia, burn in hell motherfucker, has explained in previous cases. Isn't he dead? Didn't Antonin Scalia die? Or is he the extra? I know he's a crazy Republican. Antonin Scalia. Didn't he die? Former. Oh, yeah, he died in 2016. That's right, he is dead. Burn in hell, bitch! While responsibly protecting our beautiful country, the United States of America is going to build again. Thank you for your attention to this matter, President Donald J. Trump. Hideous. Hideous. He is dead. Yep, motherfucker. So what's the reasoning behind this? What's so that people can build? What is it for data centers? Are you letting basically endangered species die to build more data centers? Is that what we're doing right now? Blocking infrastructure, right? Oil? How is protecting endangered species stopping you from extracting? You want more oil, more natural gas and timber? Where are these endangered animals supposed to live? Don't you know that to protect an endangered species, you have to protect their habitat? Like, that's the whole point. You know, if they have no habitat, you can't protect them. By protecting the land, by protecting as much land as you can, by keeping it as pristine and as away from humans as possible, that is how you protect animals. We were just talking about Jimothy yesterday. The fact that Jimothy's gone viral, people are interacting with Jimothy more and more, and by doing that, they risk killing Jimothy now because they're giving him milk. And now they're like, well, now we have to euthanize Jimothy. Like, what the fuck is going on, dude? I don't understand. This is insane. Miles Murphy says we need to team up with the animals and take on Trump. Yeah, you guys need to do a repeat of Avatar. But in real life, Ewa has heard our chants, our prayers. I'm going to get a spoon for the honey, folks. Spoon for the honey. It's crazy how much damage the Trump voice does to someone, man. So quick, too. So quick. Also, don't judge me for using the same spoon. No one else eats this honey but me. My own private collection. This is way too good. This honey's way too good. Goddamn. Goddamn. I need this honey for my throat, guys. Hours of talking. Look, I got myself a second jar. Full second jar. $50 worth of honey right there. Premium Lebanese organic honey from a Sindian. Sindian, I think, is oak. It's an oak tree. Mimosa says, I think your saliva can spoil the batch. Don't you worry, because it's almost done. Look at that. It's almost done. So this batch ain't gonna get spoiled. For the new jar, of course. I ain't gonna do that. For this jar, it's over. It's over. Quick another little small piece of news, then we start moving on to bigger and better things. Jonah Hill recently went viral for this clip, talking about being good at jujitsu and just sounding like a complete douche.
I love, I love Brazilian jiu-jitsu. I love, except my body is begging me to not love it. 42 isn't, my wife is often like, you're not going to become like a professional fighter. You know that, right? Like, you're a comedian. Like,
but let me ask you something.
Yeah.
If we got into it,
I would fuck you up.
you'd fuck me up, right?
I would fuck all
But
three
truly,
of you up. Yeah.
right?
And that's the best part. My favorite thing is people are like, oh, Jonah Hill, fucking fat guy from Superbad. And I'm like, I would fucking annihilate you, dude. I'm not kidding,
every
dude.
fight
Try it. If you see me, try it, dude.
God, I used to really like Jonah Hill back in the day, man, from like Superbad. And when I first saw him in 40-Year-Old Virgin, dude was genuinely funny. Now he seems like such a fucking unbearable asshole. Like, I feel like martial arts, ever since I started learning boxing, like, yeah, I've maybe made the joke, like, well, if I get in a fight, I can probably handle myself. But, like, the last thing you want to say is, like, well, I'll just fuck you up, dude. I know jujitsu. I know boxing. I'll fuck you up. It teaches you to be humble. It teaches you to avoid confrontations. It teaches you to become so confident in yourself that you become like a silent warrior, a silent killer. If you ever need to bust that shit out and use it, you can and you will. But to walk around and be like, well, I'll just fuck you up. I learned, like, especially jujitsu, which is all about, like, you know, it's like calm wrestling. It's like way less. I mean, you can break someone's arm. You can fucking snap someone's neck with jujitsu. It's a violent sport. But, like, it's all about, like, respect and, like, you bow to your opponent and, like, you know what I mean? Like, it's about getting better and improving. Like, when you're actually in the jujitsu gym, no one walks around and talks like that. There's a bunch of mutual respect between you and your opponents. It's not about this kind of attitude, like, I'm gonna fuck you up. If someone thought I used to be fat, now I'm gonna fuck you up. Like, that's just, it sounds horrible, man.
every fight ends up on the ground.
Fucking bring it. Who's got it?
I will, unless you are way bigger than me,
I have like a
fucking fuck around and find out. I love Brazilian jiu-jitsu. I love, except my body is begging me to not love it. 42 isn't, my wife is often like, you're not gonna become like a professional.
Indy Hansen with another dono. Thanks so much, Indy. Says it's literally the plot of Hoppers. Jiu-jitsu? Or like, I've not seen Hoppers. Is it about like what, being humble and like martial arts? By the way, please don't respond in a super chat. Respond in a regular chat. But I've not seen Hoppers. Is that the latest Pixar film?
Fighter, you know that, right? Like, you're a comedian, like.
But let me ask you something. If we got into it,
I would fuck you up.
you'd fuck me up, right?
I recently rewatched 21 Jump Street and 22 Jump Street with Demi. Those movies are fucking funny too. That's the first one is way funnier, 21 Jump Street, but like, yeah, Jonah Hill is like kind of unbearable, dude. Unbearable. The bomb says no disrespect, but BJJ is the least legit martial art ever. I mean, look, I don't like BJJ. I don't want to do any sort of jujitsu where like someone's crotch is in my face and it's a bunch of barefoot people sticking their feet in my mouth and shit. Like, I don't want any of that shit. You know what I mean? Keep your crotch away from me. Keep your feet away from my face. Keep your thighs away from my face. I like boxing because literally I use my jab to keep everyone at a distance. They get too close, pop, 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 jab them, keep them away. I don't want to have someone's sweaty body all over me, their smelly ass crotch in my face. Keep that away. No, thank you. But if you know jujitsu, you're in a great place to like be able to defend yourself. I think jujitsu is pretty badass. You know what I mean? It's kind of boring to watch. It's not fun. I don't want to do it myself, but I do respect BJJ as a sport. And also, it's like way less dangerous if you're practicing boxing and then you start sparring. You're gonna get fucking injuries. You're gonna get head injuries. Jiu-jitsu is like a relatively safe sport or martial art to practice. You're not gonna get brain damage by doing that. That's already an advantage it has on boxing. On MMA, I've gotten 2 bruised ribs and a concussion by just practicing boxing and doing some sparring occasionally. So I don't think. I think whatever martial art that can teach you how to defend yourself very efficiently, especially if you're small and lightweight, jiu-jitsu, if you know jiu-jitsu, you can take someone down that is much heavier and much bigger than yourself. You know what I'm saying? Boxing kind of limits you in that respect. But
I would fuck all three of you up. Yeah.
Right?
And that's the best part. My favorite thing is people are like, oh, Jonah Hill, fucking fat guy from Superbad.
Anyways, let's listen to someone else talk about jiu-jitsu. Here's Tom Hardy talk about it. I haven't watched Tom Hardy talk about it. Let's see what he says.
To get big or I was 40, so 7 years ago. And I trained to get big or small for a film, but on my own, you know, like very lonely, boring.
Yes.
And you just change, and it's not good for your body, and there's no people, there's no game, you know?
Yeah.
And so I'd go to this, and there's a club at the end of my road.
And by the way, let me guess the movies he's talking about. He's probably talking about Warrior, where he plays an MMA fighter. That movie was fucking great. I think that was the first time I ever saw Tom Hardy, or one of the first times. I might have seen him the first time in Inception. He was fucking great in Warrior. That dude was a machine. He was a tank in Warrior, and I think it was his role in Warrior that landed him the role as Bane in The Dark Knight Rises. Now, in case you guys don't remember who Bane is, perhaps I can give you a little reminder.
Oh, Batman, you think darkness is your ally? You merely adopted the dark. I was born in it, molded by it. Oh, Jonah Hill, you think Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is your ally? You merely adopted Jiu-Jitsu. I was born in it. You claim that you can fuck other people up. I will kill you. I will break you, Jonah Hill.
The Gripper, folks. The greatest drink cup on the planet that does not look like a penis. Absolutely. So yeah, he's probably talking about Warrior and Bane.
And the guys were all jiu-jitsu, and they have kickboxing and boxing, and I thought I'd try a bit, but I've always been a bit nervous of the fighting martial arts community, because I thought, well, this is for them. For me, I don't think I belong. You know, come and have a go, you know. And I did, and then they were really nice.
Yeah.
People are nice.
Yeah, people are
and then I started to enjoy the community, and it gave me a level of confidence, honest confidence, because I always get beaten, but that's okay.
Yeah.
But I kept turning up. It's really important. So you're never going to be the best.
Haley accidentally banned the bomb. We're sorry. We hope you're okay, the bomb. It was an accident. Haley didn't mean it.
It's impossible. Yeah. But you could be beaten, but that's okay.
Yeah.
But I kept turning up. It's really important. So you're never going to be the best. It's impossible. Yeah. But you can be better than you were by just coming. And there's nothing to be scared of. You know? And then what I realized was that everybody there who I thought was scary weren't really different. You know? Now it's more of a meditation or a relaxing. I have no competitive spirit.
Okay.
I don't need to win.
Playful.
Yeah. Because I think that, you know, with the work that I do, it can be very competitive.
Yeah, and you don't want everything in your life to be so...
No, and I think it's good to start at the bottom and be shit at something. But if you keep going, you get better. Now, I don't know if I've got better, but I know when somebody new comes to the club, I know that I can make them feel a bit
safer. That's kind of how I felt with boxing too. I thought it was kind of intimidating, and I thought everyone would kind of see me and like assume that I was kind of like lame. Like, look at this skinny dude who speaks English and who's like a podcast. So why is he coming into our world of boxing and stuff? But instead, I found everyone to be very sweet, very encouraging. When I would progress and be better and improve, people would be like, "Hey, you're looking a lot better. You're moving a lot better. Good fucking work." You know, when you'd be doing pads with a coach, you'd hear somebody be like, "Yeah, fuck yeah, let's go, dude." Like, people are very encouraging. And yeah, like I started boxing at 32. I'm now 35, almost 36. I know I'm never going to be the best. I started too old, too late. I just wanted to improve, see differences in my lifestyle, just gain some confidence, just finally kind of master some kind of combat sport. I used to do Taekwondo when I was younger, never really committed to it. So I just wanted to take better care of my health, my body, fight. And also I became part of like this community that was very lovely. You know what I'm saying? It's a nice feeling to be around it. But like, yeah, the last thing that's ever on my mind is beating people up. I've never had to use my boxing outside of the gym. I've never had to, and that's kind of the point. But knowing that I can box and defend myself, you know, gives me that extra confidence that I need, you know, if I'm ever out in like a dangerous area or whatever. But like, it's all about not flaunting it and just talking about it all the time. That's fucking obnoxious. Mustafa Jav sends a very generous $5 donor. Thank you, Mustafa. Says, I haven't woken up this happy in a long time. Israel may have come to her dreams, but inshallah, this victory stays in her nightmares. Let's fucking go, Mustafa. Congratulations. And we're going to watch that clip together. That was a fucking insane clip. It's crazy. Nina says, I love my gym. Definitely. I love my boxing gym too. It's like such an important place for me. And, you know, it's a great escape. But yeah, to me, even though it's like boxing is a violent sport, to me, going to my boxing gym is like the one of the most peaceful things I can do. You know, it's a violent sport where people punch each other in the face and try to knock each other out, but like I find peace there. It is kind of a meditation, even though it's a lot more, you know, you're punching a bag, you're hopping around, you're doing jump rope, you're sweating and shit. It's very relaxing. I'm going boxing tomorrow morning. I can't wait for that training session. So it feels good, you know? Okay, this was fucking crazy. Now, this was on, is this still on Comedy Central? We're going to try to react to this clip, but like...
So for you, you could agree with them 90%, but Israel...
This is an insane clip. I hope we can react to this and not get fucking claimed or something. But let's see. Is this like a podcast? No, it's not. It says it's the weekly show with Jon Stewart, available wherever you get your podcasts. What?
So for you, you could agree with them 90%, but Israel is the red line.
Absolutely. Israel for me. Like I can't ever turn my back to Israel after where it's at.
God, so this, do we need to say anything about John Fetterman? This dumbass ogre who, even before he had a stroke, he was kind of like, you know, not mentally, you know, very apt, I would say. And then he got a stroke, which made him, which honestly kind of compromised him. And I'm not saying that people with a stroke are like unable to work or to lead, but like he certainly was not. He was like falling asleep at the wheel, almost had like a deadly car accident that like killed his whole family or whatever. Dude like falls asleep, can barely stay up, can't make a coherent thought. Sometimes seem to like zone out right when you're talking to him. Like the dude is not healthy anymore. He's not fit to even be in office. And it's clear that the stroke kind of destroyed whatever was left of his brain anyways. So the dude was like elected on like a false fucking pretext. He painted himself as this progressive, as this leftist. He was embraced by the left, helped him get elected, and then he like betrayed every single one of them. He votes like he talks like a Republican. He votes like a Republican. He spends half his time on Fox News, you know, like they keep inviting him on as a correspondent or some shit. It's like, what the fuck is going on here?
So, and I mean no disrespect on this, but that is not our country. So for you, you could agree with them 90%, but Israel is the red line.
So, like, so now he's talking about, because John Fetterman said that it's like Hassan Piker, we can't have someone like Hassan Piker in our party. And like him and James Carville both were like, if Hassan Piker is a Democrat, we're going to leave the party. So now Jon Stewart's saying, well, what if you agree with people from DSA, members of the Democratic Socialists of America? Even if you agree with those people 90%, the issue of Israel to you is a red line.
So for you, you could agree with them 90%, but Israel is the red line.
Absolutely. Israel for me. Like I can't ever turn my back to Israel after where it's at.
So, and I mean no disrespect on this, but that is not...
I mean, you don't have to qualify it.
...our country. You're saying that these candidates may have great ideas. Our country.
What a reaction. I don't care. I believe in the freedom of Israel, Israel's right to exist. Did you see that, Jon Stewart, did you see that story of the man getting harassed in a Burger King?
Saying that these candidates may have great ideas for our economy. They may want to do the exact same thing you want to do in terms of getting money out of politics. They may want to increase the social safety net. They may want to change the balance of power from capital back to labor. But if they don't agree with you on Israel, you don't want them in your party.
Well, I don't know who you're referencing to specifically.
No, I'm referencing what you just said.
Name.
So in other words,
I'm she forgetting any blocks.
Syed or AOC or Bernie Sanders, I assume you agree with a lot of what they say economically.
And what I'm saying is, like, if you are a DSA member, if you are a member of a specific political party, run under your own banner. And now I think Bill Maher said something very insightful. He said, you know, the DSA...
Like, motherfucker's quoting Bill Maher. Bill Maher, who's basically a Republican at this point. Like, what the fuck, man? Did you hear what Bill Maher's show said something spectacular? Bill Maher's just talking about how he hates Muslims every fucking day. Like, what the fuck?
Are colonizing the Democratic Party. So just be Democrats if you're going to run under the Democratic...
The irony of Bill fucking Maher, mega Zionist, and this fucking oaf, another no-brain Zionist talking about colonizing. The nerve to fucking talk about colonizing. The DSA is colonizing the Democratic Party, while in real life, In real life, Israel, your beloved fucking Israel, is occupying and colonizing both Palestine and Lebanon? Are you fucking kidding me? You fucking idiot.
Party for that. Why have a DSA party for overall? So run on that, and you all understand.
It's just an organization. It's not, we have a two-party system. We don't, it's like the Freedom Caucus in the Republican Party. There are, there's Randy Fine and Ogre and all these nutbags that are also part of an area, and Republicans, I'm sure, may not agree with all of them on all kinds of things, but there is no other party.
Well,
I guess you could try it, but my point is, if you don't
Dom says, oh, wow, now he has a problem with colonization. Exactly. Like, he loves colonizing other places. When it's Israel doing it, when it's happening in its own country, oh, no, they're colonizing the party. Mithy Eve says Bill knows a colonizer when he sees one. Exactly.
agree with him on a lot of things, why not use some of that energy? And even like Mamdani in New York is DSA, but there are things in the DSA platform that he disagrees with. And I'm assuming there's probably things in the Democratic platform that you might disagree with, but you don't disavow the entire thing. You're literally saying we can all have discussions, except when it comes to Israel, which is not America. It seems like a weird line to draw.
Yeah, say something, you fucking idiot. Don't just stare at him.
Well, so then, I don't think that's weird. I think what history demonstrates is that when people or a government or people turn their back to the Jewish community, things end really badly, and it's a dangerous.
Jewish community and Israel are not the same thing, brother man. They're not. That is not the same.
There we go. It always comes back to this. It always comes back to the conflation of Israelis and Jewish people, Zionism and Semitism.
Thing.
No. It's like, hey, it's like if I have to pick a side for after 10/7 and after men, or people turn their back to the Jewish community, things end really badly, and it's a dangerous.
Jewish community and Israel are not the same thing, brother man. They're not. That is not the same thing.
No. It's like, hey, it's like if I have to pick a side for after 10/7 and after Iran, I'm always going to stand with Israel. I'm always going to vote and support whatever that's necessary to protect themselves.
If I have to pick a side after 10/7, after Iran, yeah, because this is a sports game, right?
And to prosecute Hamas, Hezbollah, and Iran too. And the very left never said a peep after Iran executed 30 to 40,000 young people in there just for protesting for democracy.
You think that the left is pro?
Again, they did not slaughter 50,000 people.
Iran, not the country, but the regime.
What I'm saying though is, like, if anyone in the Democratic Party is fine with Iran,
in the Democratic Party, you can't even speak. Motherfucker can't even speak anymore, dude.
Saying though is, like, if anyone in the Democratic Party is fine with Iran building a nuclear bomb, what I'm saying though is, like, if anyone in the Democratic Party is fine with Iran building a nuclear bomb,
if anyone in the Democratic Party, yeah, 10/7. They have to make it sound like 9/11 somehow. 10/7. Never forget 10/7, 9/11, 10/7, 12/8, 4/3, 2/1.
I disagree with that person.
I think most people are. Again, I think you're caricaturing the issue. But is there anything you would criticize Israel about?
No, John, there isn't. There absolutely isn't. Pretty insane. Okay, now what's going on with Dr. Fauci? Dr. Fauci is doing some hearings. Are people going after Dr. Fauci for, like, COVID? Like, apparently TYT is turning on Dr. Fauci. Here's Anna Kasparian. Unhinged attacks on Dr. Fauci. He took advantage of the American people at a time when we were deeply vulnerable and terrified. Chris Kavanaugh says TYT are a genuine menace. What is Anna on about?
And it's pretty devastating because there are a lot of people in this country, myself included, who put a lot of trust in him at a time of chaos, panic, at a time of instability in our federal government where we didn't know who to trust. And he took advantage of Americans at a time when we were deeply vulnerable and terrified. And it's pretty devastating because there are a lot of people.
This is about like the masks. At first, they're like, you don't need masks. And then they changed, you know, their tune because they're like, we lied about the masks because we didn't want there to be a shortage for healthcare emergency workers and stuff. Because that was kind of a dumb move on their part. You don't need masks. Then, oh, no, you do need masks. It's like, way to fucking bungle this and create so much mistrust, like, from the fucking get-go. What do you mean you don't? You tell people you don't need masks, and then a week later, like, oops, you actually do need masks. We were just lying to you so that we wouldn't run out of masks for, like, hospital workers. You could have just fucking said that from the beginning. Like, that, they did bungle kind of a lot of COVID sort of procedures and stuff. Like, it was kind of fucked. I'm not going to feel all that bad for Dr. Fauci here. Is that what we're doing? Why are people like I'm pro science, I am pro vaccine, I am pro like usually that stuff, but like I'm not going to sit here and defend Dr. Fauci with all my heart. But what's going on here? Here's the full video. What the fuck's happening with Dr. Fauci? So what are these hearings taking place? I'm so out of the loop.
Given Senator Paul's obvious obsession with calling for my prosecution, his repeated slanderous comments about me, and recently his publicly releasing my unredacted personal diary aimed at embarrassing and intimidating me, the only conclusion I can reach is that the sole reason he is calling me before this committee is to get me to say something, anything that could vindicate his repeated public pledges that I end up, in his words, quote, behind bars.
That was just a little taste of Anthony Fauci's opening statement as he testified before the Senate Homeland Security and Governmental Affairs Committee. Now, unfortunately, his opening statement was really the only time he said anything at all because he invoked his Fifth Amendment right over and over again for the remainder of the hearing. Now, Senator Josh Hawley called it out pretty aggressively. Take a look.
Well, nothing says honesty like taking the Fifth, huh, Doc? Let's try something.
Yeah, but like Josh Hawley also like pumped up protesters before January 6th. Like, you know what I mean? Like, are we taking Josh Hawley now as like a reliable source?
What day of the week is it today?
Hello, Artful. How's it going?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment to the Constitution.
What color tie are you wearing?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment to the Constitution.
What color is the carpet in front of you?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment to the Constitution.
Let's just get one thing straight. You don't have any rights under the Fifth Amendment because you've been pardoned, as you very well know. As the Supreme Court has been clear for a century and more, Brown versus Walker, 1896, when he has been pardoned, he may not stand upon his privilege. You know that. Your lawyers sitting behind you now shifting nervously in their chairs. They know it. This isn't about the Constitution. This isn't about the law. This is about contempt.
So yesterday when we were covering Fauci's
I find all of these proceedings so theatrical. Like, they're all such badasses. Like, they're like, oh, what do you mean you don't want to answer? Then when it comes to like voting for funding for Israel, they all like fucking vote for the same shit, like the little cowards that they are. They act all brave in these hearings, asking the tough questions, you know, bullying, and like he's allowed to, but like I don't give a shit about I don't feel bad for Dr. Fauci or for Josh Hawley, but like everyone acts like such a badass in those hearings, asking questions. Then when it comes to actually do something for the American people, they can't seem to get anything done. They can't seem to vote the right way.
Entries on the show, I had totally forgotten about the fact that former President Joe Biden had done these blanket pardons before leaving office, and he did preemptively pardon Anthony Fauci before leaving office. And so when I was talking about the need to prosecute Fauci, it turns out you can't prosecute Fauci thanks to Joe Biden's pardon. Now, why would I want to prosecute Fauci? Well, those diary entries, which were released by Senator Rand Paul ahead of this hearing, indicated that Fauci lied to the American people about a lot of things, including the origin of the coronavirus. So we went over that. I'll go over it again in just a minute. But if he is safe from prosecution, now would be a great time to be forthright with the American people. But he decided against doing that. And it really does show him for who he really is. And it's pretty devastating because there are a lot of people in this country, myself included, who put a lot of trust in him at a time of chaos, panic, at a time of instability in our federal government where we didn't know who to trust. And he took advantage of Americans at a time when we were deeply vulnerable and terrified. So listen, when we covered this story yesterday, apparently some people were so offended that we would dare to tell the truth after coming across new information about Anthony Fauci that they've unsubscribed. And okay, if you don't want to know the truth, that's totally fine. But for those who do want to know the truth, because it's important to prevent.
Tell us. I need to know what's happening here. What else came out? Like, yeah, I mean, what is the U.S. government's official position on the origins of COVID? Do they still think it happened at like was it a wet market? Like, right? And that's what they said it was, but then it turned out it was some facility that was in Wuhan that was actually creating viruses to test for future pandemics.
This kind of stuff from happening in the future. Think about the number of people who died. Think about the number of people who literally lost everything. You know, someone I grew up with who worked her ass off. I mean, she was working from like 14, okay, because she wanted to. Like, she wanted to learn how to style and dye hair, and she wanted to own. Her biggest dream was to own a hair salon. She worked really hard and actually accomplished that. COVID destroyed it. She now
is the official story still that it happened from seafood wholesale market. That's really what they say it is. Huh? However, an accidental laboratory leak remains a debated alternative hypothesis undergoing investigation. I think it was a lab leak. I'm pretty sure it was a lab leak. Are people still buying someone like bought a bat at a market and that's how it happened? Because that's not what I don't think that's what fucking happened. If that's what people think, it was definitely like there was a lot of talk that was a lab leak, dude. And like, you know, pretty satisfactory evidence.
Does not have a business. And she's just one person who experienced that. So many Americans lost everything as a result of how our government handled its response to the pandemic. And we need to learn.
Well, look, a lot of people's businesses were affected. I wouldn't blame Dr. Fauci on that. People should have been reimbursed from the government. People that were forced to close their restaurants should have been given massive grants, massive payouts like that. To me, yeah, Dr. Fauci just told people to stay home. Like, I don't know what else he did, but like your friend losing her business, like half the people I know who had restaurants and shit like fucking suffered an insane amount. The government should have given them money. If the government is forcing you to close your business, then they have to fucking reimburse you somehow. Movie theaters ate so much shit from governments. Movie theaters were forced to remain closed. Like restaurants still had the option of like feeding people outside, doing takeaway, etc., doing non-indoor eating sections. The governments forced movie theaters to remain closed for months and months and months. Never gave them a dime. Never gave them a dime. And then like, how are they supposed to stay afloat?
From that. We need to prevent that from happening again in the future. But unfortunately, we're not dealing with people who have the best interests of the people of this country in mind. Anyway, so look, the point of this hearing was to, dive into the origins of and the governmental response to the COVID-19 pandemic. Now, Fauci's refusal to cooperate did not mean there were no spicy moments in this hearing. Now, Republican Senator Bernie Moreno, who's he's a Republican from Ohio, engaged in a pretty fiery rant about Fauci. And so before we get to the clip, I want to give you some context. Moreno said he decided to run for office soon after learning that a woman was arrested at an Ohio middle school football game in 2020 for refusing to wear a mask, which was reportedly against the school's policy at the time. Now, with that in mind, here's more of what Moreno had to say to Anthony Fauci.
I cannot stand idly on the side and watch this happen. It was about 6 years ago today that I decided I'm going to give up my businesses, sell them all, run for office, run for the United States Senate. Here I am sitting in front of you 6 years later saying, who the do you think you were for doing that? It is a total disgrace what you did to this country. There is no defense of what you did. You may have had a 50-plus year legacy of public service, but it ends in total and complete disgrace.
Because they told people to mask up? Is this about like anti-masks now and stuff? Like, okay, if a school arrested a woman for not wearing a mask, that is an overreaction from like that one school. But like the idea that people should be masked to stop the spread, I think is a good thing. Like, what are we doing here? So like, yeah, why is Anna hitching her wagon to the is this like an anti-vax thing? Like, I think TYT were pro-vaccine. What the fuck is this?
Race. So let me ask you an opportunity to answer one question. Will you apologize, just apologize, to the people who you harmed through your actions? Will you say, do you have the dignity to just say you're sorry?
I just want to hear that, the cursing. Because again, they think they're so fucking cool.
Run for office, run for the United States Senate. Here I am sitting in front of you 6 years later saying, who the do you think you were for doing that?
There you go. Are you going to vote to keep supplying Israel with weapons? Yes. But Dr. Fauci, who the fuck do you think you are? Huh? You going to vote to stop, funding Israel? No, we love Israel. But Dr. Fauci, I will stand up to you, you old man. Yeah, fucking badass, dude. You're such a G. You're such a, wow, so gangster of you. Cursing at Dr. Fauci, who's like rescinded his ability to even speak. He's not even answering. All he says is, I plead to the fifth. What a badass. What a moment. You're going to, your family's going to frame this picture of you and put it up on the fridge.
To your legacy of public service, but it ends in total and complete disgrace. So let me ask you an opportunity to answer one question. Will you apologize, just apologize, to the people who you harmed through your actions? Will you say, do you have the dignity to just say you're sorry?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment to the Constitution.
Do you know your brain rot index? No, of course you don't. I didn't either because I didn't know what it was.
Jank, you need to check your brain rot index, my guy. You and Anna need to do the check.
I mean, there are so many things that we learned from his journal entries that were infuriating. But for me, one of the most infuriating things was how he would publicly deny that there was a lab leak that led to this virus spreading. Okay, publicly, he called these people lunatics, conspiracy theorists. No. The virus originated from a wet market in China. That's what he said. Then we learn in his journal, he said something entirely different. Now, we're going to revisit that. But first, I just want to say, the Democrats in this committee defended Fauci despite what we learned from the journal entries. And I just want to understand, why is this a partisan issue? Why is this a partisan issue? This shouldn't be a partisan issue. This should be an issue where you look at the evidence, you look at his conduct, and you stick to the facts. But the turning a global pandemic into a partisan issue is one of the dumbest things imaginable.
Yeah, the Republicans turned it into a partisan issue. What the fuck? Like, Anna, what the fuck is going on here? I hated the fact that, yeah, COVID did become Republican versus Democrat. You want a mask? You want to wear a mask? You're a Democrat. You don't want to wear a mask? You're a Republican. You want to get the vaccine? You're a Democrat. You don't want to get the vaccine? You're a Republican. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Like, even science has become politicized, but like, that was the Republicans fucking doing it. I'm sorry. It wasn't Fauci politicizing it. He was just reacting to what was happening. Again, did he handle it perfectly? No. Do I think they lied about the origin? Absolutely. Did they bungle the masks thing at the beginning? Of course. And they destroyed the trust between the CDC and everyone else.
But that's what we do in this country. They turned it into a culture war, when in reality, this has to do with questions of life and death. It has to do with questions of how the government should respond, whether or not the government should fund something known as gain-of-function research. And if they do fund it, what type?
That was it, in gain-of-function research. That's when they like create sort of like little viruses and stuff to like to test out potential antidotes, vaccines, reactions from the CDC, how to handle a pandemic, etc. And then supposedly, while they were experimenting, one of them leaked COVID-19.
Type of gain-of-function research is okay to pursue. But we're not having that conversation, are we? So a group of 155 scientists, doctors, and public health advocates also signed a letter defending Fauci. I don't know if they read any of Fauci's journal entries, but they wanted to defend Fauci while painting.
Is it enough to like to like imprison someone, or like journal entries? Do we know like their validity? Are they authentic? Is that enough evidence to bring someone down?
The scientific community as victims of the Trump administration. Now, look, I agree. The Trump administration has not been friendly to scientists. However, this is not the right context to make that argument. Okay. So they say in the letter alleges that the Trump administration and its congressional allies are waging a war on individual scientists through public harassment, arrests. I don't know who they're referring to when they talk about arrests. Anthony Fauci has never been arrested. Criminal indictment and ongoing threats of prosecution. Anthony Fauci, let me remind you, was preemptively pardoned by Joe Biden before he left office, okay? Multiple, so that's what they say. They say the charges against Dr. Fauci are baseless, suggesting he covered up, this is the important part, suggesting he covered up the origins of COVID, that he bribed or persuaded other scientists to join his cover-up, that NIAID funded research sparked the pandemic, that he personally holds patents on the virus, and that he's working with intelligence agencies to suppress the true story of the pandemic, the letter states. No credible evidence has been produced to support these absurd charges.
Those are pretty insane charges, dude. Like, what the fuck?
Except there has been credible evidence, and that credible evidence comes in the form of Dr. Anthony Fauci's own journal entries.
Where? Is this like his diary? What journal entries?
So, like, are we gonna, were they false? Were they totally manufactured? Are they fake? Because Anthony Fauci doesn't say that those journal entries are fake. And in fact, maybe we should take a look at those journal entries again so you guys get a sense.
Yeah, show us. What the fuck are you talking about, Anna? Show them. Don't just read this shit.
Thousands of pages from Fauci's journal. Now, you might be wondering, so take a look at those journal entries again so you guys get a sense of what I'm talking about here.
What do you mean he has a patent on COVID-19? Like, is he one of the creators of COVID-19? What's happening here?
So as we share,
this is like a mystery. Thank you for keeping us on the edge of our toes, Anna. What the fuck?
With you yesterday, Senator Rand Paul released thousands of pages from Fauci's journal. Now you might be wondering, well, how did Senator Paul get his hands on Fauci's journal? Fauci wrote these journal entries on a government computer, thus making it available for Freedom of Information request. It belongs to the government. Okay, that's how we have it. So from his journal, we learned that only a few scientists, 2 scientists, in fact, early on in the pandemic, real early on in the pandemic, were open to his theory that COVID was a naturally developed virus that jumped from animal to human in a wet market in China. Only 2. The others were like, this looks like a lab leak. So the rest suspected the virus might have been created artificially, not least because a leading scientist in Wuhan, Shi Zhengli, was known to engage in the sort of gain-of-function research that could produce such a result. Now let's get to Fauci's diary entry. The diary suggests that by January 26, 2020, so this is even before the lockdowns happened, okay? Dr. Fauci believed the virus had not originated in the Wuhan wet market, often identified as the source by natural origin advocates. This did not stop him and allies from painting skeptics of the natural origin theory as politicized cranks and conspiracy theorists. I remember early on in the pandemic, after the lockdowns had happened and we had a shortage of masks, Dr. Anthony Fauci told the American people, oh, you don't need masks. Don't worry, you don't need masks. And the reason why he said that is because we had a severe mask shortage and we had to...
Yeah, I remember that. That was pretty fucked up.
Save whatever masks we did have for frontline healthcare workers. But when you say that, what it does is it dissuades Americans from using N95 masks once you have enough of them to encourage Americans to use them. Regardless of his conduct or lies, again, preemptively, he was pardoned by Biden. And now we all know why. We all know why. By the way, the reason why he kept pleading the fifth is because he didn't want to perjure himself during this hearing. Had he perjured himself, well, then there could be charges against him that he hasn't been pardoned for. So he knew what he was doing. Anyway, sorry if this news, which is easily...
Okay, since she's not going to show you any of this shit, here are the journal entries. This is on paul.senate.gov that Senator Rand Paul released. It's like 1,000 pictures. Released by Chairman Rand Paul. And this is where supposedly all of the stuff. Apparently CDC is upset because I'm saying this on a course to be as bad a year. In fact, the flu infection... Why is he writing this stuff? Why is he diary, like, why is he writing a fucking diary after every day of work? Today, dear diary, I got yelled at by President Trump. He told me to go fuck myself. Leak. Let's search for the word leak. Someone leaked the story. Fauci on COVID lab leak theory. I have a completely open mind. Press, NBC Meet the Press with Chuck Todd. CBS Face the Nation. Met with an ambassador, Pamela Hamamoto, who was U.S. negotiator for the pandemic accord. I'm not... What the fuck, dude? I don't even know what to believe of this shit, dude. Like, I'm not going to read this stuff.
Easily verifiable offends anybody, but I think we should all know the truth, and this is unfortunately the truth. And by the way, I wanted to go to one other thing. I want to go to the next video because Anthony Fauci had perjured himself previously. Now he's been given a blanket pardon by Biden. The video that you're about to see is from May 11th, 2021. But this is the kind of stuff that he was saying to the American people during these congressional hearings that were just brazen lies. Take a look.
Dr. Fauci, do you still support funding of the NIH funding of the lab in Wuhan?
Senator Paul, with all due respect, you are entirely and completely incorrect that the NIH has not ever and does not now fund gain-of-function research in the Wuhan Institute
Do they fund
of
Dr.
Virology.
Barrick?
We do not fund.
Do you fund Dr. Barrick's gain-of-function research?
Dr. Barrett does not doing gain-of-function research, and if it is, it's according to the guidelines, and it is being conducted in North Carolina, not
You don't think
in
inserting
China.
a bat virus spike protein that he got from the Wuhan Institute into the SARS virus is gain of function?
That is
you would be
not-
in the minority because at least 200 scientists have signed a statement from the Cambridge Working Group saying that it is gain of function.
Well, it is not.
So he lied during that hearing. And how do we know that? The hearing took place May 11th, 2021. By September 9th, 2021, The Intercept, not a right-wing publication, The Intercept got their hands on some incredibly important documents. And what those documents indicated was that, and this was reported by Newsweek at the time, Fauci was untruthful to Congress about Wuhan lab research, new documents appear to show. So again, those were documents obtained by The Intercept, and Newsweek interviewed someone by the name of Richard Ebright, Board of Governors Professor of Chemistry and Chemical Biology at Rutgers University.
Listen, this might be a controversial take. I am pro-vaccine. I am pro-wearing masks. I am pro-science behind, COVID. Now, I know it was a confusing time. They made the vaccines very quickly. I still always tried my best to I'm like, hey, I believe in science. We want to do what's best as a society. Wearing masks, getting the vaccine, whatever can help stop the spread, whatever can limit killing people. I don't see that stand going against calling out Dr. Fauci if he did lie about this stuff. I am still pro-science. I'm still pro-vaccine. I'm still pro-masking when necessary, obviously, to stop a pandemic, while telling Fauci to fuck off if he, in fact, did lie about the origin of the COVID vaccine and lied about a whole bunch of other shit. I don't see. This is the thing about politicizing a pandemic. Just because I'm a leftist doesn't mean I'm gonna defend this guy. That's the same as vote blue no matter who. If Dr. Fauci, who's a Democrat, lied about certain things and did some sketchy shit during COVID, I'm not going to sit here and defend him. I got nothing to gain from him. Doesn't change. I'm not going to become an anti-vaxxer overnight. I'm not going to tell you guys not to wear masks. I wore a mask. My mom, has a compromised immune system. I completely understand all of that, and I participated in all of it. And when the vaccines came out, I was like, put one in, fucking inject me in the eye. I just want to be done with this shit. You know what I mean? But if it is true that there is evidence that Dr. Fauci lied about the shit and those journals are legitimate and they do contain a bunch of contradictory information, then fucking get the guy. I don't care. But But TYT's framing of this is that the Republicans were right and the Democrats were wrong. The Democrats made it into a culture war thing when, in fact, I feel like it was the Republicans that turned it into a culture war thing. And they're the ones who turned wearing masks into this weird liberal thing. So I don't like where this whole discussion is going. I don't like the people that are just calling out Anna. Call out Anna, not for doubting Dr. Fauci. Call her out for repeating right-wing talking points. But criticizing Fauci or going after Fauci for potentially lying during a pandemic, I don't care. Fucking go after them. Republicans, Democrats, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Democrats can be more harmful to people with their policies. To me, a Democrat is essentially a Republican, so I don't care about that. So I am still pro-science. If one doctor turns out to be a liar, it doesn't shake my faith in the entire institution of science. So people are getting defensive on behalf of Dr. Fauci as well. There's no need. There's no need. If the guy lied, if the guy, he did contribute to, some bad policies. But again, it was a time of confusion. It was a time of fear. So I understand why they closed down a bunch of businesses. I understand why they close down restaurants, but if you were going to do that, if you're going to force businesses to close, you have to reimburse them. If you're just telling businesses to close and then fucking figure it out yourself, debru halkun, as we say here in Arabic, that's messed up. I think that's a real problem. I think the government, those $1,200 checks that they gave people, what's that going to do to help a fucking business? What, they gave them access to cheaper loans, low interest loans? Who gives a shit about that? So it's just all stupid. Nina says, those are the local rumors I'm talking about. It's very interesting to me. There's half truth in what she's trying to say. I'm pro-science, pro-vaccines, but I don't trust how they handled that. Yeah, absolutely. You can be... skepticism is healthy. Skepticism is healthy. You know what I'm saying? Even when you're pro-science. Like, I was pro-vaccines, but I'm like, okay, they're developing these vaccines pretty quickly. It's like, okay, and then you have all these big pharma companies making trillions of dollars through those vaccines. There's always interests, bad interests at the core of all of these situations. So, like, yes, I'm pro-vaccine, I'm pro-science, I'm pro-masking. I'm not just going to blindly support stuff. And sometimes during COVID, I was kind of blindly supporting stuff because I was afraid, I was confused. You know, I just wanted to be done with. My whole life had been turned upside down. All of our lives were turned upside down. We couldn't visit our families. Like, when my grandmother passed away, I couldn't even visit her at the hospital. We couldn't even have a proper funeral for my grandma. Like, this shit affected all of us. I'm sure a lot of you lost friends, loved ones, family members. You couldn't see your family for months. I lived in this. My parents lived 20 minutes away from me. I couldn't come visit my mom because she was immunocompromised. And I didn't want to risk, like, if I had anything, I didn't want to risk giving it to my mom. So I barely even saw my family when they were here. So, but if Dr. Fauci did something to fuck over the American people, that's fine. It's not a victory for the Republicans. It's not a victory for anyone. It's just a victory for people. But the fact that it's getting politicized, and now the right wing was going to attack Dr. Fauci no matter what, and then Democrats want to defend him no matter what. It's like both approaches are wrong. You know, that's why I so don't relate to the two-party system anymore. I'm like, I don't give a shit about these fucking fights you guys are having, these silly battles. None of it matters.
University and laboratory director at the Waxman Institute of Microbiology. So they interviewed him and asked him, like, take a look at these documents and tell us what...
Yeah, Mithy says they're bloodthirsty for Fauci, but not about the human trafficking that Epstein and others were involved with. Yeah, absolutely. And I'd say that one is worse. Like, if there was mishandling of a pandemic, that could lead to the death of thousands, hundreds of thousands of people. Epstein obviously is more horrible. It's like a fucked up crime against humanity as well. But, like, yeah, they're all such badasses. What the fuck? I've been fucking waiting. What the fuck do you have to say for yourself, Fauci? Like, yeah, oh, such a badass when it comes to to Fauci. Where was all that energy for Epstein? Where's that energy for Israel when it comes to funding Israel? Like, that's the thing. They're all acting tough, yelling at this old man who, granted, might have made some mistakes, but, like, again, it shouldn't be a partisan thing. It should not be a partisan thing. This is pretty depressing. Just a couple of news about Lebanon, and then we're going to move on to the Abdul al-Sayed victory. Mithy says we had to wait months to do my dad's funeral. I'm sorry to hear that, Mithy. From Paul Arbiz. The Israeli occupation army is advancing through Hula towards Wadi al-Slu'i, setting it ablaze, destroying vital civilian infrastructure along the way. The artesian well supplying Mais al-Jabal and the Bint Jbeil district, Israel, has been bulldozed as well. So this is the Israeli occupation advancing through Hula toward Wadi al-Slu'i, setting it ablaze, destroying vital civilian infrastructure along the way. God damn, dude. Again, homes, crops, fields. But now this is the most depressing thing. So as they advance and destroy, they're also building. That's what I said. I said Israel, they're holding... they have a yellow line controlling a massive part of Lebanon right now. The entire southern part of Lebanon is controlled by Israel. Every single border town between Israel and Lebanon is being controlled by the Israelis. There's a yellow line. If a Lebanese citizen, if I cross the yellow line that Israel has implemented in my own country, I get shot dead in my own country. If a Lebanese soldier drives too close to the yellow line, he gets shot dead by the Israeli army. And now my fear has come true. And this is something I've talked about before. The IDF is building in southern Lebanon as if it is never leaving. Here is what's happening in the 600 square meter of Lebanese territory, up to 12 kilometers deep in places, that Israel now holds, while it sits in Rome negotiating a framework that commits it to withdraw. At least 7 new Israeli bases have been built in Lebanon. The one pictured is built on the ruins of Khiam prison, 5 kilometers inside Lebanon. Satellite imagery shows engineering vehicles there in June. By July, the base was complete. With a raised earthen berm, trenches letting soldiers move between positions under cover, and netting rigged overhead against explosive drones. And I believe this is what they're talking about. This was Al Khiam prison. And there has now been a minor, small Israeli base built on top of the old prison premises. Now, it says this picture is from February, so I'm not entirely sure if that's the picture he's talking about. Israel has also seized the Beaufort fortress, 10 kilometers in. Defense Minister Israel Katz has said Israel will not withdraw from it. We talked about that like last month. And they just recently bombed Beaufort Castle. Beaufort Castle overlooking Yuhmur al-Sha'if in 1974, when the mountain was green, lush, and full of life. Today, after decades of Israeli destruction and escalating ecocide, the mountain is scarred, its slopes ripped open by explosives, and its forest burned to ash. This is what the mountain of Beaufort Castle looks like now. This was before Israel's most recent war. At the top, you can see the green. Look at the bottom. Destroyed rocks. Destroyed nature. Destroying our land. 3. 32 kilometers of routes cleared and engineered inside the Yellow Line for military logistics. Excavators, road rollers, and D9 bulldozers are working the whole corridor from the Israeli border into the depth of southern Lebanon, operated in part by civilian contractors rather than soldiers. So now they have Israeli contractors in southern Lebanon destroying roads, excavating roads, bulldozers. At least 24 Shiite villages demolished. Katz said so proudly, "We destroyed all the buildings, not house by house, not incrimination. All these villages, their demolition was completed. 15,000 to 20,000 homes. Khiam, a town of 20,000 people, is gone." A senior defense official told Haaretz the aim was to create a scorched earth awareness. Katz has said 200,000 Lebanese will not return to their homes. And again, our Lebanese president is out there, goes to visit Washington, D.C., talks to Donald Trump, laughs about how they're going to try to make Lebanon great again. We have Lebanese representatives signing deals and agreements with Israel, telling them you can stay in southern Lebanon until we disarm Hezbollah, until our military disarms Hezbollah, you guys can stay. And the Israelis, they take welcomes very, very literally. Oh, we can stay. We will build bases. Great. We will start building homes, new settlements. This is a different thing from the occupation Israel ran until 2000. That zone had people living in it and was held by a proxy militia. This one is an emptied buffer held directly by the IDF, and the man in charge has said what it is for. He instructed the army to build outposts in southern Lebanon as much as needed, as if we're going to stay there 50 years. So it does seem that Israel's occupation of Lebanon is, if not permanent, semi-permanent. It's going to be there for a very long time. It's going to be there for a very, very long time. And the longer they stay, the harder it is to get rid of them. The longer they stay, the more of a claim they believe they have to the land. And does the Lebanese government care? Apparently not. They're yucking it up with the US government. They're yucking it up with the Israeli government, signing peace agreements. You got Lebanese people that don't give a shit. Life in Lebanon at this point, for the people that are not directly affected by this, is back to normal. Back to normal. They're starting to get concerts again. You got foreign artists coming back to perform concerts. People are going to the beach. People are going to clubs. People are going to restaurants. People are going out. People are living life, especially in the area that I'm in, where it's majority Christian areas. They don't even think for a second what's happening to the south. And again, a lot of Lebanese people support what is happening there because they hate Hezbollah or they hate Iran. So like, well, yeah, let Israel clean the south for us. Let them do the dirty work that our government couldn't do for us. Not thinking that that same Israel is going to turn those exact same weapons against them one day. They think it's a Shia issue. They think it's Israel versus Shia. They don't think of it as Israel versus Lebanon. They're fucking racist is what it is. But this is what's been terrifying me. I'm like, the longer they stay, the more they build, the more bases they build, the harder it is going to be to get rid of them. And now that you have the Israeli army, the American army, and the Lebanese government all against Hezbollah, our only defense against the Israelis, our only resistance against Israeli occupation, we're fucked, essentially. Death says they're doing the same thing as they did in the West Bank. Exactly. Dr. Sahiba says, Israel made me support the Iranian regime. Exactly. Same with my sister's partner. You know? Same with one of my best friends in the States who's also from Iran. It's like these people hate their government. They don't fuck with their government. But they would rather support their government than Israel or the United States. But this is just nuts. This is just heartbreaking. The fact that they're actually building shit here. Let me try to find a report about this. Let's see what's going on here.
Is Israel building a military base in Lebanon where it once tortured thousands of people? Take a look at this 2023 satellite image of the GWAM detention center. Now here's the same site in June 2026. These images obtained by AJ Plus show the infamous camp has been razed, with new construction already underway.
If this ends up being a military site, it would be the biggest Israeli base yet inside Lebanon.
For years, the detention center overlooked the southern border town of GWAM. For many Lebanese, the town is inseparable from Israel's legacy of torture there.
تعرضت للجلد شوي هيك ركعوني تركيا وكب مي وتوقيف برا وتركيا بالحمام وانا
Just a lady, man.
مكيس الكلب يجيبوا يفوتوا
With a sack on my head.
يصيروا يدوروا بالمتاحف.
Using satellite imagery and open source analysis, we investigated what is being built where the GWAM detention center once stood. First, some context. Long before it became a detention center, the site was known as Fort GWAM. It was built in 1933 during the French Mandate and served as a military barracks. After Lebanon's independence in 1943, it became a Lebanese army base. The history of the site would forever change during Israel's occupation of southern Lebanon from 1978 until 2000. Israel's proxy militia, the South Lebanon Army, turned it into the largest interrogation and torture camp in the country.
Previous detainees were quite a wide range of people with different political affiliations, from the PLO to the Communist Party to Hezbollah to even just citizens in South Lebanon that were resisting the Israeli occupation.
This is Ahmed Baidoun, a Lebanese open source researcher and architect. In 2019, he unexpectedly visited GWAM, which had been turned into a memorial after Israel's withdrawal from Lebanon in 2000.
And it didn't let go of me. There was this weight to the site and something it held that you felt the moment you entered.
That visit inspired Ahmed to build his virtual reconstruction of the detention center, a site that was a physical evidence of what happened to some 5,000 detainees who were often held without charge or trial. The South Lebanon Army also locked some detainees in the site's infamous red box, a metal container so small it was known as the chicken coop.
We talked about the butcher of GWAM. His daughter went viral on Twitter not too long ago complaining about like something. What was it? That her dad was a notorious murderer and torturer in that prison, working on the behest of the Israelis. Let me, what was his name? The butcher? The Butcher of GWAM is the nickname of Amr Fakhouri, a former senior warden at the notorious GWAM prison in southern Lebanon. That's right, he was accused by former detainees and human rights groups of overseeing and inflicting brutal torture and murder against prisoners during the Israeli occupation of southern Lebanon in the 1980s and the 1990s. His daughter, what was her name? I had a tweet that went viral about them. Butcher of GWAM. Okay. Zoya Fakhouri. She is the daughter of that man, Amr Fakhouri. A few years ago, my family sued Iran for its role in illegally detaining my dad, Amr Fakhouri, through its proxy Hezbollah. We won in court. We were among the first to show up to show how deep Iran's grip on Lebanon really is. And then I just quote tweeted that by saying, Google the Butcher of GWAM. He was her dad. No need to say more. So his daughter is out and about complaining about Iran supporting Israel while her dad literally tortured people to death.
5 ساعات 6 ساعات 4 ساعات اللي هي أبشع
ما بيشوفها الإنسان.
For years, detainees were not allowed access to lawyers or even family visits. The International Committee of the Red Cross was allowed to visit Khiam after more than 10 years of repeatedly requesting access.
هذه الغرفة لما دخل الصليب الأحمر دولي تم تحسينها لهالشكل، لا كان في كرسي ولا سقف مرفوع ولا هالضوء الموجود.
In March 2026, reports confirmed that Israeli forces had entered the town of Khiam. That's when Baidoun ordered this satellite image.
I had caught the exact moment the prison was being taken apart. What we can see is basically excavators, which are those small blue specks that you can see, tearing through the prison buildings and scraping the whole thing to bare earth.
Since 2024, Israel has set up 5 military outposts inside southern Lebanon that stretch across much of the country's border. Baidoun believes this construction visible at Khiam marks the early stages of his 6th base.
What we can see from the image in June is a complete reconfiguration of the site, basically a huge construction site happening and some machinery is still at work flattening the land.
Baidoun says the nearby Hamamis Hill outpost offers the closest comparison of what is being built at Khiam.
So that base shows you what these positions become once they mature. So there's this rampart, which is this mini hill made of soil surrounding the site. There's also this newly established road leading into the site.
These are like barracks where they can hide and shoot.
With only one access point. Then you have these installments and containers, which is basically a military base within the site.
What makes a Khiam site a strategic location?
Because it sits at 750 meters in altitude, overlooks the town of Khiam, but it also overlooks the Israeli side of the border. So this isn't Israel pulling back to its own line and consolidating. It's building a new, bigger position and on higher ground, but also further inside Lebanon.
Egypt Plus obtained this satellite image on July 6th. While no clearly identifiable military equipment is visible and we can't confirm the establishment of a military site, we notice the presence of more vehicles as well as new material on the site. Israel denies that the 5 military bases are permanent, but an Israeli soldier told Haaretz that
of course they're going to deny it. Of course.
The construction of these outposts does not appear to be temporary. Baidoun says Israel's erasure of this Lebanese chapter is not incidental.
In 2006, an Israeli strike happened in the premise of this site, and it destroyed about 2/3 of it. This was also viewed by previous detainees in this place that it was an attempt to erase its memory, even back then.
After Israel withdrew from southern Lebanon in 2000, Khiam also became a symbol of liberation. Images of residents famously breaking open the gates marked the end of occupation. For the next 26 years, visitors walked through the memorial, which preserved the detention cells, photographs, and some of the objects used to torture detainees. Its destruction erases the evidence of those abuses.
And that's why this virtual archive is quite important. And it's an attempt to preserve a version of the memory of this place, but not the full memory, because for sure the full memory of the site cannot be preserved and is impossible to keep.
Dude. That is horrendous. Right, we're never going to be done with this shit. We're never going to be done with this shit. Okay, we're going to move on to Abdul El-Sayed wins.
And in the United States Congress.
This is an NBC News special report. I'm Steve Kornacki.
Don't spoil my topic. I just want to find a video of like CNN of like angry libs on CNN reacting like this shouldn't have happened. How could Haley Stevens lose? But I think it's too early for that kind of coverage. Let's see. CNN reaction Abdul. Ooh, 2 hours ago. Let's go. There we go.
I just want to say
CNN can
to my colleagues.
CNN can project. God, Wolf Blitzer is so fucking. Okay, let's see. All right, so Abdul El-Sayed has won his primary in Michigan against Mallory McMurdo and Haley Stevens. Look how crazy that is, right? A man called Abdul El-Sayed beat 2 white women called Haley and Mallory. Haley, our very own Haley, you're our favorite Haley in the world. But for someone with the name Haley and Mallory to be beaten by Abdul, that's why they call it Dearbornistan, folks. You know, the man must have made quite an impression to be able to defeat these 2 white women. Congratulations, Abdul. We have the greatest Haley. The greatest Haley. Definitely better than Haley Stevens. We'll give you that one, Haley. So a man named Abdul was able to beat 2 Christian white women. One of them had like $60 million, outspent him 9-1. Like $40 million donated from AIPAC. Israel comes to her in her dreams. Just hear her say it. I didn't say it.
And in the United States Congress, I will continue to fight for the people of Israel. I will continue to fight for Israel's existence. Israel comes to me in my dreams. I see Israel's future, and I know that Israel will continue to exist for the Jewish people.
That is probably the most insane quote I've ever heard. Like everything John Fetterman has said, Randy Fine has said, what's the other guy's fucking name?
And in the United States Congress,
Mike Huckabee, none of these people have said anything as insane as this. Israel comes to me in my dreams. Israel speaks to me. Israel told me, Haley, you need to guide the Israelites across the desert and bring us to the promised land.
And in the United States Congress, I will continue to fight for the people of Israel. I will continue to fight for Israel's existence. Israel comes to me in my dreams. I see Israel's future, and I know that Israel will continue to exist for the Jewish people.
I sometimes see Israel when I'm sleeping. In my nightmares, not in my dreams, in my fucking nightmares. Oh no, they're invading. Oh no, they're bombing. Oh no, they're maiming children. Oh no, they're killing us. That's how I see Israel. In my worst nightmares, I wake up and covered in sweat. Cold sweats. Whoa. What the fuck is this? What do you mean you see Israel in your dreams, you fucking idiot? That's what $60 million bought? With all that ass licking to Israel, you still lost? You fucking saw Israel in your dreams, you still couldn't pull out a win in a primary in Michigan? Why is she doing the Hitler, why is she doing the Hitler salute?
United States Congress, I will continue to fight for the people of Israel. I will continue to fight for Israel's existence. Israel comes to me in my dreams. I see Israel's future, and I know that Israel will continue to exist for the Jewish people.
It's all disturbing. Like, Israel comes to me in my dreams. It speaks to me. I've seen the future of the Jewish people. And she's like weirdly holding. Why is she holding the mic to the side of her mouth? Look at her. She's holding the mic.
In the United States Congress, I will continue to fight for the people.
I've never seen anyone hold a mic like this. What are you doing? Why the mic is going one way? She's like holding on. What?
Of Israel. I will continue to fight for Israel's existence. Israel comes to me in my dreams. I see Israel's future.
Artful asks, why focus on Israel when your own country is going to shit? There's 46 million reasons, Artful, for her to focus on Israel.
And I know that Israel will continue to exist for the Jewish people.
Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck any Democrat who supported you. Fuck any liberal Zionist who takes money from AIPAC. Just fuck you. Disappear. Artful says, I hope she fades into obscurity. Absolutely. I hope you fucking disappear. I hope you're rich now. You think she didn't keep some of that AIPAC money? You think she spent it all on ads? Ooh, she fucking rich now. Go enjoy your Israel money. Go enjoy your Israel money. You fucking psycho. You fucking genocide supporter. Fucking insane, dude.
This is an NBC News special report. I'm Steve Kornacki. American voters in 5 states hit the polls on Tuesday, and I've got some major results to share with you, starting in the state of Michigan, where Abdul El-Sayed has won.
Abdul El-Sayed.
The Democratic primary for the United States Senate. He defeats Congresswoman Haley Stevens. This was a very close race here. You can see there are still a scattering of votes to be counted, but El-Sayed currently leading Stevens by 2 points here. He will be the Democratic nominee this November, and he will face off against the Republican, Mike Rogers. He won his primary unopposed tonight. Rogers, a former congressman. He ran for the United States Senate in this state against Alyssa Slotkin in 2024. He narrowly lost. He will be now facing off in his second Senate campaign against El-Sayed. The backdrop of this race, which will be one of the most closely...
Bro, man, Michigan, again, the amount of Arabs in Michigan, like, they say, Abdul, of course. Dude, Dearborn probably did some fucking work. You know, I'm sure he got a lot of vote from every demographic, every constituency, but The Arabs must have fucking turned up for this guy. Where is he from? Like, where is Abdul al-Sayed from? What kind of Arab is he? Where's he from? What? They're telling me where the name Abdul comes from. I want to know where he comes from. Was raised in the United States. However, he's Egyptian. Like, aywa. However, he's the son of an immigrant from Egypt, making him of Egyptian descent. Okay, his stepmother and maternal family, mid-Michigan. Is he... Okay. Aywa, Masrim and Masr. Like, aywa ya basha. Ya basha.
Watch races this November is that this is a state that Donald Trump won. It's
we love our Egyptian brothers and sisters. And again, fuck Argentina for what they did to the Egyptian football team. When I was leaving the U.S., actually, I was leaving the U.S. It was like it was 6 a.m. I was at the airport. One of my guilty pleasures, folks. Don't judge me. You can judge me all you want, actually. I love getting a meatball sandwich from Podbellies. Don't ask me why. I've always fucking loved that sandwich. It hits the same. I've been, every time I go to the States, I try to get a Potbelly sandwich when I leave. If I don't get a chance to get Chick-fil-A, I'll get the Chick-fil-A from the airport, but they serve breakfast in the morning. Dude, fucking Potbellies was slamming meatball sandwiches at 6 a.m. I was like, fuck yeah, here's my chance to get it, because I did not visit a single Potbellies restaurant in my 3 weeks there. So I'm like, you know what, I'll fucking, if they take me to the good terminal, I'm gonna get a Potbelly sandwich at the airport. Lo and behold, it was 6 a.m. They were serving sandwiches, they were making meatball subs, and I overhear the Potbelly employee speaking Arabic. I'm like, oh, and it was all of them, not just like one of them. There was 3 ladies, all of them just slamming that Arabic, speaking Egyptian. I'm like, ooh, okay. So I kept it as a surprise. I wanted to surprise the ladies. I'm like, I'll have a meatball sub, please. I'll take some of this, some of that with it. Then I'm like, Entum and Masr? Like, she had just said something in Arabic. I'm like, so y'all from Egypt? I said it in Arabic. She was like, ooh, just instantly like smiling and happy. She's like, yeah. She's like, where are you from? I'm like, from Lebanon. She was like, all happy, little extra pep in her step. I'm like, I'm so sorry about what happened against Argentina. Fuck Argentina. She's like, thank you. She's like, you thought Egypt should have won, huh? I'm like, yeah, they should have won. She's like, absolutely. Very sweet lady. So if you're ever at the Washington Dulles airport, hit up Potbellies. They have 3 very sweet Egyptian ladies working there. They're going to serve you the most delicious meatball sub. And by the way, I slammed the shit out of that meatball sandwich. Got myself a big chocolate chip cookie as well that I ate on the plane. And a little bag of chips. Spicy jalapeno chips. God, I could go for a Potbellies meatball sub right fucking now.
Swing state. Trump carried it by a point over Kamala Harris in 2024. And Democrats in nominating Abdul el-Sayed, a candidate who was backed by Bernie Sanders, who ran on certainly a far-left progressive platform. Can a candidate as far to the left as el-Sayed win a state like Michigan? We have seen a host of these left-wing candidates win primaries this year in deep blue districts, deep blue cities, where the general election is a foregone conclusion. It's not a foregone conclusion in Michigan. This will be a test. Can el-Sayed, can his ideology win in a state that went for Donald Trump by a point? Other major...
Barely drew 1 point, and Donald Trump has been fucking shitting the bed. So I think the Democrats have a good chance. People like free healthcare, man. People like universal healthcare. People don't like genocides. People don't like funding Israel when they can barely get their lives in order. People don't want to see their tax dollars going to fund other countries and foreign wars. That's it, dude. Okay, Americans are suffering. Capitalism has destroyed most Americans' livelihoods. And it's time to reckon with that fact. So I think it's going to get easier and easier for socialists, democratic socialists, fucking communists to win.
Races here tonight in Michigan, the governor's race. Jocelyn Benson, the Secretary of State, she will be the Democratic candidate for governor, and she will be facing off, trying to succeed two-term Governor Gretchen Whitmer, who's not running for re-election. She will be facing off against John James. John James, a congressman from Macomb County, a Republican who ran with the endorsement of Donald Trump. He wins the Republican primary.
Okay, we don't need the rest of these. We got a quick response. We got a reply from Hassan Abi. Says 10-1 outspent. 10-1. I thought it was 9-1. Endless smears. 64 million in outside expenditures. Organized people beat organized money tonight. The work is only beginning. Michigan will never be considered a swing state ever again. I hope you're right, Hassan. I hope you're right. And we got to give Hassan his flowers. He has been covering Abdul el-Sayed since the beginning. He gave him a platform. Hassan is under attack right now. He's always been attacked from the Republicans. Now he's under attack from mainstream Democrats. From CNN to James Carville to Fetterman to Haley Stevens, whoever can shit on Hassan Piker and call him a dangerous leftists and violent leftists who's changing the left and taking over the left and colonizing the left. Congrats to Hassan, because his work was genuinely fantastic. I know the first time I ever saw Abdul Said was on a Hassan live stream when they were hanging out together. I discovered who Abdul was because of Hassan. So Hassan Piker definitely has massive influence.
Live from Texas, this is the Will Cain Show. Democrats have a new...
I hope this isn't copyrighted, but like someone made this, Fox News made this intro about Hassan Piker, genuinely made him look like a hero. Look at this.
Live from Texas, this is the Will Cain Show. Democrats have a new kingmaker. He's the visionary of the left. He's the visionary of Democratic Socialist. And it's his party, Piker's party. And that party has an invite list. And he has a vision, not just as who should be elected to
like they thought this was going to make the guy look bad.
Office, but as to the future of the Democratic Socialist of America. When asked a very interesting question about what he would add to the platform, here's what he said about the future of the DSA.
Arrest and prosecute and bring about corruption charges for every prominent member of this administration that is engaged in corruption. Prosecute and arrest ICE agents that have also done crimes as well on the job.
Bring out the secret police. Live from...
Dude, this made him look like such a G. Like, are you kidding me, dude? Like, thank you, Fox News.
Texas, this is the Will Cain Show. Democrats have a new kingmaker. He's the visionary of the left. He's the visionary of Democratic Socialist. And it's his party, Piker's party. And that party has an invite.
He's the visionary. He's the kingmaker. It's his party. Piker's party.
List. And he has a vision, not just as who should be elected to office, but as to the future of the Democratic Socialist of America. When asked a very interesting question about what he would add to the platform, here's what he said about the future of the DSA.
Arrest and prosecute and bring about corruption charges for every prominent member of this administration that is engaged in corruption. Prosecute and arrest ICE agents that have...
But his says it wasn't Fox? Who was it?
Also done crimes as well on the job.
Bring out the secret police.
You know, the actual, yeah, I know this is an edit. I know this is a fan edit, but like the original, yeah.
Live from...
Fucking dope. Okay. Let's watch a little bit more. Phantom Pain. Here's an interview. That was before the votes came in, but like, look at that. I want to end dark money. So this conversation she had with CBS reporter.
These protesters outside concerned about the fact that more than $60 million in PAC money has been spent on your behalf by pro-Israel groups, by other corporate groups.
Yeah, by Democrats.
What's your response to that?
Democrats. Look,
Listen, just regular old Democrats gave me $60 million. It's just Democrats. Dude, she has such an evil mouth, like such an evil aura. Israel comes to me in my dreams. It comes to me. It comes to me in my dreams.
this is the same way, you know, Gary Peters, Senator Stabenow, and other tough Democrats have won. Every single poll shows I'm the best one to go beat Mike Rogers. People aren't, you know, messing around here. We've had an engaged, exciting primary process. Everyone's going to
got an engaged, exciting primary process.
Be able to have their voice heard, their vote heard. You know, that's what.
No, we made fun of the Zionists. They're cut off my power. I got no electricity anymore. No. Oh, Haley Stevens, why? Oh, we're back.
I tell people, and you know, it's a free country. People can, I get it. Our system needs to change, right? Our system needs to evolve. I want to end dark money in politics.
But you're the beneficiary.
Well, and certainly so is Mike Rogers, right? He's got a $45 million PAC waiting for him.
I know I just got $60 million, but I want to end that. I don't want to get that $60 million. And, you know, next time I run, I want to just get donations from the people, just like Bernie Sanders did.
Supporting by Donald Trump. He has sold us out to opioid manufacturers, China.
Trust me, I'm going to use that $60 million responsibly. I'm going to use that AIPAC money to do good. I'm going to use that money to do some good.
left and right. This is not the way forward for Michigan. You know, I am the only person, Ed, in this race who is not a multi-billionaire. All right, I didn't make $700,000 last year while I was running for U.S. Senate. I haven't had a podcast. I've been doing the work for the.
I haven't had a podcast, lady. Podcasting is not the money pit you think it is. It's a money pit, in fact. You know, how much money do you think we're making out here, lady? I'm not a podcaster. I'm not rich. Shit. You think I'm doing this for the money? I'm doing this for the love of the game. Love of the game, lady.
In this race, who is not a multi-billionaire. All right, I didn't make $700,000 last year while I was running for U.S. Senate. I haven't had a podcast. I've been doing the work for the people of Michigan, meeting the moment to be their champion.
And the big concern they have is that one of the groups spending this money is pro-Israel. You're someone who's voted for continuing military aid to Israel at a time when that's not as popular a stance as it once was. Why is continuing to support Israel's military important?
You get two different views here in this primary, right? I want a two-state solution. I want long-term peace. I've called out Netanyahu. He's attacked me by name. He has failed in the goal of getting us to long-term peace. My opponent, Abdul, he equivocates. He will not recognize Israel's right to exist as.
Yeah, baby. As he shouldn't. Fuck Israel. Fuck Israel's right to exist. It's got no right to exist. It does exist. It shouldn't have. It does exist, and it should cease existing as it currently does. It should exist as a one state for both Palestinian and Jews. Everybody should live there. Everybody should split the land. But that's not what you want, is it? You psycho fucking piece of shit.
Support Israel's military important.
You get two different views here in this primary, right? I want a two-state solution.
Means nothing. Means fucking nothing. Everybody's been saying they want a two-state solution for fucking decades. Has led to nothing.
I want long-term peace. I've called out Netanyahu.
Not enough. Called out Netanyahu? You think that makes a fucking difference? Who hasn't called out Netanyahu? Chris sends a $2 super chat. Thank you, Chris. Says podcasting not a money machine. Look at your Lego haul. You think that's from podcasting money? That's from me making sacrifices. That's from me choosing to buy Legos versus other essentials, Chris. I mean, I live okay. I make a decent living through the podcasting and streaming, but being a millionaire, she said I'm not a millionaire. I'm not a podcaster. That's what she said. She said millionaire. I make about the same amount of money that I used to make with a job. Okay, this is a very unglamorous lifestyle. I'm a humble man.
He's attacked me by name. He has failed in the goal of getting us to long-term peace. My opponent, Abdul, he equivocates. He will not recognize Israel's right to exist as a state. You know, he blamed Israel.
But is he on record being like Israel doesn't have a right to exist? I'm sure if they ask him, look, you can't win an election in America by saying Israel doesn't have a right to exist, at least not yet. So you'll be like, oh, yeah, I mean, I guess it has a right to exist. But instead of asking me if it has a right to exist, ask me, does Palestine have a right to exist? Like, it's kind of the shit that they pull.
For when a temple blew up in our my congressional district, you know, both of these represent the extremes. Michiganders want peace. They want humanitarian aid. That was in...
Polga says, I want to be poor like a streamer. I mean, look, hey, watching the new Spider-Man movie reminded me of my poor life. I'm like, oh, there we go. He has a nice little computer set up, and that's his pride and joy, probably. Peter Parker in that movie, his PC is probably his most prized possession. Beautiful. My beautiful computer. How I love you. I got nothing else. And my Lego.
You know, a bill I just voted for. I'm not moving into isolationism.
We love Israel over here. Hey. Art Sharelab sends a $2 dono, says, here's $2 towards the million. Let's go, everybody. Hey, if everybody who subscribed to this channel sends $2, that's $60,000 just like that, folks. YouTube takes their 30% cut. So, you know, more like $40,000. Whoopsie. Whoopsie. Okay. Let's watch, well, before we watch his speech, let's watch CNN. Let's see if they're going to complain about this. That's what I want to see. I want to see people on CNN complaining about it. Whoa.
Cannot project that progressive Abdul El-Sayed has clinched Michigan's Democratic Senate primary, defeating Congresswoman Haley Stevens.
Chris says he has a $600 Cantina set. How is that not evidence of a millionaire? Chris, you're crazy. Think that Cantina? Chris, you just spent hundreds of euros on a pair of limited edition shoes. You're out there calling me rich for owning a cantina set that I saved for months. I worked hard for that cantina set. I sat there and told you guys, I'm saving it and I'm waiting to buy it. And I waited like 3 months to buy it, like a child. I was putting money aside every month, like a little boy, to buy that Lego set. Now it's more expensive than ever.
In what was a very bitter and contentious race, El Sayed will advance to the midterm elections and take on Republican former Congressman Mike Rogers. That's coming up in November. Voters in 5 states punched ballots yesterday in several key primary races across the country. We're also keeping a very close eye on races in Missouri, Kansas, Virginia, and Washington State. Let's begin this hour, though, with the major breaking news coming out of Michigan right now. CNN anchor John Berman is at the Magic Wall.
CNN Chief National Affairs Correspondent Jeff Zeleny on the ground in Detroit. This really came down to the wire, Jeff.
Pamela, it absolutely did. And this epic battle of the Democratic establishment versus this insurgent progressive movement really played out.
Yo, K-Max sends €2. Let's go. Says here, spend it irresponsibly. Thank you. This is going towards another $600 Lego set. I'm kidding, guys. I'm out of space for Lego sets, by the way. I gotta build a second shelf. So that's going to happen. By the way, tune in tonight, a little later tonight, folks, because I am doing, since we're speaking of Lego, tune in. Because tonight, folks, we are going to be having a blast on Tino's Playroom. There it is. It's already scheduled for 9 p.m. That's 1 hour from now. I think I'm going to have to delay it by half an hour at least. But later tonight, I'm going to be assembling my clone army. And by the way, memberships on Tino's Playroom have gotten a discount. So if you're a current member of Tino's Playroom, your membership has been canceled. It's been canceled because I deleted the level that you guys are currently at. Prices are going down from $5 a month to $3 a month. So consider re-becoming a Tino's friend. Enjoy. I wanted you guys to save some money, okay? I felt bad. I'm like, a lot of people are members on both this channel and the other channel. I wanted to give you guys a break, okay? I don't feel good about it. So join me tonight as I unbox a whole bunch of battle packs, start putting together and assembling my clone army. And then the next step is going to be building the clone ships and then the flowers, then everything bit by bit, brick by brick. That mock is going to come to life, that Clone Wars mock. So join me tonight on Tino's Playroom. Let me share the link yet again to my second channel. Meet me in 2 hours. Let's have a good fucking time, shall we? Yo, Samsung with a €2 donation as well said, stop feeding his addiction. We need an intervention. Again, guys, I can barely afford. I don't have the room for. I'm done buying Lego sets, to be honest, for now. I got a backlog of shit that I still need to build. And then I need to build a second shelf to display that stuff. And then once I see if I have room left in that new shelf, then I might add some sets. So for now, we're keeping things limited. I'm building what I have. I'm not buying any more sets. I already have like 6 sets that I still need to build. So once those are built, I'm going to build another shelf, display them, and then we'll see if I have a little bit of room. Maybe I'll get a couple of more sets. But as of now, I'm like this. Lego and Ville's new shit. I'm like, can't. I do not see. I do not hear. I know nothing. They dropped an X-Files set that looked kind of good. I'm like, it doesn't look that good, to be honest with you. I don't like the design of it. I'm like, oh, okay, I can skip that one. Once they start dropping some nice Dragon Ball stuff, some actually nice Pokemon sets, if they get into Lord of the Rings battle packs or they make a Helm's Deep, then I'm really fucked. Because then I'm going to have to build a Helm's Deep war thing, you know? Definitely doing a Lord of the Rings mock if that happens.
In Battleground, Michigan, and for the first time, the progressives have netted a statewide win, but this was a much narrower win than either side expected. Abdul El Sayed was hoping to deliver a victory speech last night in prime time. He told me that he was hoping to reintroduce himself. Some of his top progressive supporters had statements that they sent out early in the evening predicting a victory to be called shortly after the polls closed. That did not happen. And what John was just talking about there is so interesting, looking forward to the party unifying. Right here, Wayne County, Detroit, Haley Stevens, the Michigan member of Congress, performed very strong here. And the African-American vote historically is so important to the Democratic Party. That was with the Stevens campaign. I talked with Abdul El Sayed just a short time ago this morning, and he acknowledged to me that there is work that needs to be done, that he needs to do more outreach in the Black community. But he also said it's time for the party to unify and look ahead to Mike Rogers, the Republican nominee. Let's listen.
Look, we all understand the responsibility of being Mike Rogers and Donald Trump, and the things that unite us are so much bigger than the things that divide us, and I think we need to start tapping into those things. And so for all the folks who might have supported my opponent, this is a big tent. We're doing the work to
I would say shined a brighter spotlight on those as opposed to clarifying this direction of the Democratic Party, Pamela.
I just want to watch Democrats like angry at this. Abdul El Al-Sayed victory. Does the Today Show maybe get upset about it?
Overnight, a victory for progressive Democrats in battleground Michigan. In the closely watched high-stakes Democratic Senate primary, voters choosing Abdul al-Sayed as their party's Senate nominee, defeating establishment-backed Congresswoman Haley Stevens.
Tomorrow we begin to mend fences. We have a responsibility to assure that we unite to make sure that Mike Rogers never sees the inside of the U.S. Senate.
The former public health official ran on a populist platform, campaigning on Medicare for all and abolishing ICE, and touting endorsements from progressives, including Bernie Sanders, who spoke with Kristen Welker and Hallie Jackson.
We the Few says, I'm actually catching you live, so I just wanted to say hi. Much love. Well, We the Few, thank you so much for the message. It's very kind. We appreciate you. Welcome. If it's the first time ever catching a live or sending a live chat, welcome, We the Few. And together, we the many. Apes. What was it? Fuck. Apes together strong. Apes together strong. Hell yeah.
Overnight.
I'm very proud of the campaign that he ran. It was a grassroots campaign. He had thousands and thousands of volunteers.
President Trump last night blasting progressive candidates like al-Sayed.
I think either they're very naive or they actually want to ruin the country. Anybody doing what they're doing and what they're espousing, everything turns out to ashes and junk.
God forgive the bastards, for Allah says, ask if these events have occurred since a massive solar flare hit the earth directly over North America. I don't think any of this is going to matter in a pretty short of time, because once this shift in magnetic orientation really goes into full swing, all of our politics and war will be irrelevant. Shit, that sounds ominous. I don't know what's happening, but hey, I'm waiting for aliens to land. That's what I want to happen. God forgives the bastards, for Allah. For Allah, Abdul Sayed.
And filth.
Al-Sayed will now face a bruising battle against the Republican nominee, former Congressman Mike Rogers, who is endorsed by Trump for an open seat. That seat critical to Democrats' hopes of retaking the Senate this fall. In the Michigan governor's race, another Trump-backed candidate, John James, will face off against the Democratic nominee, Secretary of State Jocelyn Benson. Progressives are also claiming victory in a key Michigan House primary, with activist William Lawrence defeating two Democratic challengers, setting up a race with Republican Tom Barrett in a district that President
Press. Kristen, always good to have you. Let's start there in Michigan with al-Sayed's win. What can we glean from the win itself, and what do we think that the narrow margin could mean come general election time for him?
Well, great questions, Craig. Look, it is significant that Abdul al-Sayed is out front this morning. He took on the party's establishment. He was outspent nearly 11-1, and it is the first strong showing by a progressive in a battleground state, so statewide. But look, it was a much narrower showing than expected. In fact, this morning, many news outlets haven't called the race yet. All of it underscoring the challenges al-Sayed may face in a general election.
$46 million is going to get her far a little bit. Like 47% of those votes, though, like that is all basically just money. That is all the result of advertising, nonstop blasting the news with like fucking ads and shit. Like that's what happens. So for him to get 48% of the vote, almost 49% of the vote, given the opposition that he was fighting the entire Democratic establishment, the entire Israel lobby, the Republicans, like.
And Mike Rogers, who's made it clear he actually prefers to run against al-Sayed. And that is going to be the big question in this election cycle. Can a progressive candidate win in a purple state? Al-Sayed will need to win over moderate and independent voters. And in addition to that, in my conversations with his campaign advisors, I'm told the strategy is also to try to turn out people who don't typically participate in elections. Look, the bottom line, it is nearly impossible for Democrats to win the Senate without Michigan. So the stakes could not be higher, Craig and Laura.
Kristen, you know, in some ways, primaries are hard because it exposes the fractions and divisions within the party. What do you think the biggest challenges for Democrats are going into November?
Well, the biggest challenge is just that, to unify. The race between Haley Stevens and Abdul al-Sayed was a bruising one. And in interviews with Senator Bernie Sanders, who backed al-Sayed, Congresswoman Debbie Dingell, who did not endorse, they both stressed the need for Democrats to come together in the wake of this hard-fought Senate primary. But look, deep divisions remain, including over support for Israel. And many have seen al-Sayed's win as a rebuke to the establishment, to the Democratic Party, which went all in on Stevens. So how will they navigate all this energy from voters on the left? Look, overall, while it was a strong night for progressives, as Ryan was just saying, it wasn't a clean sweep. In fact, former Representative Cori Bush lost her race to a more moderate candidate in a key Missouri district, as one example. So the big picture question here, will this new wave of progressive enthusiasm help or hurt Democrats' chances to try to take back the Senate and the House in November? Guys.
All right, we shall see. Kristen Walker. Kristen, thank you. We know you'll have much more on Sunday, because if it's Sunday, it's Meet the Press.
Hey, thanks for watching. And don't forget, you can catch the Today Show every morning on NBC or take Today when you're on the go. Just follow the Today podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen.
I noticed last time I have like a plexi keyboard. It's like transparent. So whatever dust or whatever gets in there, you can actually see it between the keys under the key. And it's kind of like distracting. Like I just want to open this thing up and like clean it out. I've never opened up a keyboard before. I've never seen whatever junk is inside my keyboard. It's nasty. And I don't eat over this. I don't do anything. Shit still gets in there.
Do you know who Hassan Piker is?
Did you guys want to watch his victory speech? He gave another speech today. Now he's being supported by Mallory McMurrow, whatever his name is.
I'm State Senator Mallory McMurrow, and I am so proud to be here this morning. It is an exciting morning in Michigan. And I know that this was a long and brutal primary. Take it from me, I lived through it.
I just want to say how grateful I am to my colleague, Senator McMurrow, Chairman Hertel, to all of our incredible supporters here. What a race. You know, in the words of Muhammad Ali, we shook up the world. And I want to say, just first and foremost, how grateful I am for the opportunity to participate in democracy. Now, my family immigrated to this country from a place where
I need to get a can of compressed air, I think, right, to clean the keyboard.
There is not democracy. You cannot just put your hand up and run. And the ability to do this, to have our voices heard, to select our leaders, it is a gift that sometimes we take for granted. So to have participated means so much. And to my fellow participants, I just want to say how grateful I am to you. Senator McMurrow, you ran an incredible race. You fought to end corporate corruption in our politics. You took on the power of AIPAC. You were willing to speak.
Sorry guys, I'm going to reschedule my second live stream to an hour later.
Truth to a level of power that sometimes is unbeatable. And I just want to say thank you and how grateful I am to have your support here today. I cannot wait to see what you do next, and I hope that for as long as I'm in this work, that we can be in this work together. Thank you. To my colleague and friend, Congresswoman Haley Stevens, we shared a great conversation this morning. And I know
friend? Jesus Christ, the shit you have to say when you're in politics.
It was a bitter end to this very long primary, but I also know that Haley brings the best of herself to her work. She is one of the most committed public servants that you'll ever meet. She loves democracy like I love democracy. And whatever differences that we might have had in the primary, they pale in comparison to what unifies us. A recognition that so long as we want to keep our democracy, that democracy better be working for people, and that all of us have to come together to make sure that we never let Mike Rogers see the inside of the U.S. Senate. So, Congresswoman, thank you for your race.
Like, how can you be friends with someone that openly supports a genocide and supports a genocidal state and accepts $40 million worth of blood money to support her campaign so that she can win and keep supporting Israel and keep voting to fund Israel? Like, no, you have to be like, this person's a piece of shit and an insult to the Democratic Party. That's what you need to say. But instantly, these people fucking win one election. They win one election and they want to start playing politician. They have to be friends with everyone. You have to be pragmatic. You have to be practical. And to some degree, I understand that and I get it. You know, you can't win one election and be like, fuck everybody, fuck the Democratic Party, fuck Haley Stevens. But like, don't call her your friend. Don't be like, I respect thank you for my colleague for making that call or for congratulating me, but we do have some massive differences. And I don't care. We have 90% similarities, but we're just a few key issues. I'm sorry, when genocide is the one difference, like that's a pretty big issue to differ on. Oh, she wants healthcare for all as well, but she supports genocide. Yeah, fuck the fact that she supports Medicare for all if she supports a fucking genocidal state. Like, are you shitting me, man? Come on, dude.
And I have to say a few more thank yous before we talk about where we're going next. First, I got to thank my wife, Sarah. I really, when we decided to jump into this race, I knew that it was going to be tough for me, but I also knew that it was going to be particularly tough on our family. And the fact that she held it down alongside her medical practice, alongside making sure that our daughters didn't experience this without thinking life was just normal, that takes just an extraordinary amount of effort and sacrifice. So I just want to say how grateful I am to you, love, and I'm so honored and thankful that we get to continue this 20 years on. It's been a hell of a ride. I owe her a 20th anniversary on our 21st anniversary because we definitely didn't get one of those this year. To my daughters, I know that they're not watching, but you know, I wish this meant I get a little bit more time with you, but give me 3 more months. to everybody who put their shoulders into the work, anybody who made a contribution, who knocked on a door, who made a phone call, who put yourself into this democracy, who gave us your stake in democracy. This
Haley saying, let's go, wife. Of course, always. Behind every great man is an even greater woman.
movement, this moment is for you. And I just can't say how grateful I am to have earned the votes that we got. We took on a machine. You're not supposed to be able to beat $70 million of outside spending. A record amount of money spent in a campaign against a Democrat in a primary in any campaign. You're not supposed to be able to beat that. And what we showed is that the power of our many is greater than the power of their money. What we showed is that if you're willing to build a movement brick by brick, if you're willing to go and travel your state...
Brick by brick? Did he just say brick by brick? Brick by brick. 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 Yeah, that is a reckless Ben reference. Dude's been watching the Bricks the Minifix saga, huh?
Have the conversations in rooms big and small, starting in moments when people aren't even paying attention to an election, but are paying attention to the price of gas and the price of groceries and the price of housing and the price of healthcare, that you can build a conversation that builds into a movement that defeats Goliath. This is what you all show. And my hope is that our democracy will never be the same. So when Big Pharma and Big Tech, when DTE and Blue Cross come a knocking saying, you know what, this is our democracy and we're going to own it, from here on out, we can always point and say, no, this is the people's democracy and we will always own it. This would not have been possible without the incredible efforts of so many allies and allied organizations. I gotta give a special thank you to my first endorsers. Bernie Sanders, the OG, who came in on day one, put his entire shoulder in the work. I just hope that I can help to carry some of that load in the fight for working people and Medicare for all. That
Philomena says he's got weak beard game. He doesn't have the strongest beard for an Egyptian man. Egyptians can do better when it comes to beards. Okay, look at this. I'm not trying to flaunt or anything, but this is a real Arab man's beard. I can grow a full beard in like 3 days. You know, I shave, fucking comes back like this. Thick beard. There's not a single patch of hairlessness. Thick, dark hair. Sometimes multiple hairs coming out of one hole. You know, it's pretty intense. And I've suffered. I suffered in my life because of my beard. You know, when I was younger, especially having a beard like this in America, people react to you. They get afraid. It's like having black skin.
Been carrying for all of this time. To the UAW, the unbeatable, indomitable UAW. As a son of immigrants, son of a father who came to this country to build cars, I gotta say that this is still the best place in the world to make an automobile, and that is because of the fighting UAW. But it's also the best place in the world to build a family because of the fighting UAW.
Artful says his beard game is good enough. Yeah, we're getting a beard fight in the chat, folks. Should we make it a poll? Start poll. We got 3 options.
And our work is about making sure that the folks who want to sell our democracy off the corporations and special interests don't get to take that away, and I stand in lockstep with our UAW sisters and brothers. To the AFT, the National Nurses United, the AFGE, the AAUP, thank you so much for your work. To all of the advocacy organizations who made this possible on the ground. Folks like the PCCC.
The options are, the question is Abdul's beard good enough? We got yes, no, or nothing compares to you, aka me, my beard. So far, nothing compares to you is at 60%.
And move on. Folks like the Working Families Party, all of the constituency organizations who knocked on doors and made phone calls, thank you so much for putting your shoulder into the work. I also have to thank all of our endorsers, 300 strong, who came in, spent their time with us, came from just down the street or came from across the country.
I don't think voting hurts in this situation. I see people in chat talking about whether you should even vote or not. I think you should do everything you can. So, vote, but don't stop it at voting. Don't think that just because you voted for the right person that shit's going to happen. Vote in case they can make a difference, but assume they're not going to make a difference, right? Assume Abdul al-Sayed isn't going to do shit. Assume Zohran Mamdani is not going to do shit. Assume AOC is not going to do shit. But hope that they can. So vote for them for the chance that they can. They're not going to make things worse than they are, I think. That's just my opinion, but I might be completely wrong. Sometimes I do get into the voting doesn't really help. And I've sometimes not voted, and I do get into this doomer thing where like, well, you're voting for the same system, you're voting for the same people. voting doesn't actually change things. I think revolution changes things. I think actually taking action will change things, not voting. But vote for Abdul al-Sayed, hope for the best, but actually go out there and act. Mobilize. Fundraise. For causes you believe in, not for other politicians. Do revolutions, do protests in the streets, make your voices heard, put your representatives' feet to the fire. And if they don't do what you elected them for, protest. Again, revolution. So if you don't vote, then you're definitely handing the victory over to the liberal Zionists, to the Democrats, to the Republicans. Vote, but don't stop there. Look at voting as the smallest, easiest thing you can do, because it is. It is. You just show up with a fucking ID and you vote. Maybe you wait in line for a little bit, but it is so easy. You can make a day out of it. Just go vote, but actually follow it up in the streets. If you just vote and sit back and hope that these people are going to do the right thing, they're not. They're going to get corrupt as soon as they get a little lick of power, as soon as they get a little bit of funding. It's just how it goes. There are some good people out there, but everybody is corruptible. It's so easy. So you can vote, but actually follow up and protest. Make your voices heard. Protest, protest, protest. Revolt. That is the easiest thing. You got to revolt. You got to. So I think use your voice. Use your voice. You're given a voice. Don't let someone else vote and you stay silent. Vote when you can. And when at least, don't vote for the lesser of two evils. You don't have to, don't go vote for Kamala Harris. You don't have to do that, especially when they're supporting a genocide. Don't come in a vote as long as you're not, ruining your morals. Like voting for Haley Stevens? Fuck no. If someone doesn't want to vote for Haley Stevens, I would not vote for Haley Stevens either. If she had won, I would let fucking Mike Rogers win. I don't care. Someone who accepts $46 million of Zionist money and she's going to let the genocide continue, I don't care what she does policy-wise in the U.S. Not, again, that's me as a U.S. citizen who doesn't live in the U.S. anymore, who's not directly affected by whatever policies are implemented in the United States. So I do look at, to me, Israel is the litmus test. So as long as you're not compromising your morals, vote and hope for the best. But also don't just hope for the best. Act for the best. Demand results. Revolt in the streets. Protest. Fundraise. Mobilize. Gather like-minded individuals. Form committees. Form, you know what I mean? Form groups that hold these people accountable.
To talk about what it looks like to build a movement of the people, by the people, and for the people, I want to say how grateful I am to you. We built this campaign brick by brick. Back in April, I remember...
Brick by brick, brick by brick, brick by brick, brick by brick.
We're talking to a room of 5 people. In a discussion that most people will never clock, but it was an opportunity for us to share an honest conversation about pain and about purpose. And I've been able to have 500 more of those discussions over the past 15 months. I trained to be a doctor, and the single most important moment that makes a clinical encounter is that moment that somebody shares their pain with you, believing that you could do something about it. I don't practice medicine, as has been well documented by all of you. But I hope that I get to practice that part of things. And I've been able to practice it, but it requires people being willing to share their pain with you so that you can do something about it. That is a moment, a piece of vulnerability people give you because they believe that you can actually fix it. It's an investment, sure, in a campaign, but it more is an investment in democracy. And as we traveled our state, we were in living rooms in Lansing, VFW halls in Escanaba, basements in Grand Rapids, churches in Detroit. I got to meet so many of you.
This is where I just saying brick by brick just made me want to talk Lego for a second. I'm going to be unboxing all of these sets basically today. These are my battle packs for my clone army. We got blue clones, guys. Look at these. They're blue. I got 2 more of these. Battle pack. It's getting built today. We got 327, some yellow clones. This is getting unboxed today. I'm not building everything. I'm just going to assemble the clones at least. And I got this battle pack, the standard clones battle pack. I got 5 of this. I got 5 of this one. We're building all of these today, folks. We're assembling my clone army.
So many. And you shared both what caused pain, but also what brought purpose. And we forged a movement out of that to get money out of politics, put money back in pockets, and pass Medicare for all to guarantee health care in this country.
Guys, I gotta go pee real quick. I'll be right back. Brick by brick.
And for our troubles, the corporations, the special interests, who would rather get to decide who our elected officials are than let us decide who our elected officials are, they spent an unprecedented amount of money to beat us. Attack ad after attack ad after attack ad after attack ad. Wall-to-wall ads. But it turns out that the commercials are the part of the television show most people don't want to watch. It turns out that you can spend as much money as you want on lies, but it doesn't make them true. It turns out that when you're able to reach out and dignify somebody's pain, people remember that a lot more than a 30-second ad played on a loop on television. And it turns out that when the people want something in this democracy of ours, the people can get that thing if we're willing to do the work of that. And that's exactly what Michiganders up and down the state showed. 12,000 volunteers knocking nearly 10,000 doors a day to defeat an unprecedented amount of outside money, $70 million. But right now, as bitter and as divisive and as
brick by brick, brick by brick. Nata didn't come to say hello yesterday, but she's here today. She wants to say hello. Hello, Natut. You want to say hello? No? You want to say hello? Okay. Don't say hello. Look at this pretty little orange girl. Look at this baby little orange girls. Look at her. Oopsie. So, brick by brick, brick by brick, brick by brick. Yo, no, my little baby. My little baby. You'll be fed once I'm done, I promise. All right, gonna take it back outside. Yo, brick by brick, brick by brick. Who's a sweet little baby? Who's a sweet little baby girl? Chris says, I'm jealous she lets you hold her. Last time I held her, she got mad at me. Yeah, you need to know how to hold her. She'll get used to it, you know.
cynical as the campaign against us might have been, I want us to realize that there is so much more that unites us now. Because the campaign that Mike Rogers and Donald Trump and their GOP MAGA allies are launching is already more bitter. All you gotta do is look at the ads you're already watching on TV, started today. You know, they think they want to use my whole name against me. Mike, listen, man, if you can't say the name, it's Abdurrahman, keep the name out your damn mouth.
Oh, his full name's Abdurrahman.
I'm gonna give you lessons. But they understand that the only way that they think they can win is to drag us into the mud, to believe the worst about each other, to believe that what divides us is bigger than what unites us. They want us to think that the reason some of us ain't got is because of other people got. But it turns out that the reason so many of us ain't got is because of the system that has corrupted our politics to take it away from us. And that is the thing that we are taking on now. That movement to get money out of politics, put money in your pocket, pass Medicare for all, it is a big movement. So if you supported me or you did not support me, if you voted for Vice President Harris in 2024 or you voted for Donald Trump, if you believe like me that you ought to be able to afford your groceries, if you believe like me that you ought to be able to afford your home, if you believe like me that your tax dollars ought to be invested in you rather than sent somewhere else, if you believe like me...
Rather than sex somewhere else? What?
Believe like me that your tax dollars ought to be invested in you rather than sent somewhere else. If you believe like...
We don't want to have sex somewhere else. What are you talking about?
...me, that a government of the people by...
Everybody's asking why he sounds like Obama. It's this thing that the consultants teach him. They also teach him how to do this. Have you ever seen anyone do this in real life? I'm here to do... Because they tell you if you do this, you look too stern. And if you do this, you look like a dictator. So this and this are no. So they came up with this middle of the road thing where you just do this. What, you ever seen a normal person talk like this? So today, I have decided to go ahead and fund the war. It's like, no, it's like, because but what if I just point with my finger? They're like, that looks bad. You know, you can't be like, we are going to fund and we are going to defund. And if you hold the fist up like, we are going, you look too violent and angry. So you got to do this. You do this and you got to talk like this. We believe in the freedom. Yeah, ringing. Yeah, Hartful calls it ringing a bell hand. It's exactly like ringing a bell. It's this fucking weird hand gesture that every fucking... When you see a politician do this, toss him aside. As soon as you see a politician doing this fucking thing, holding like this, hello, I am Obama. Just toss him aside. Like, I know, this is the... You're doing the hand consultant thing. Go, just stop. Just stop.
The people and for the people is our birthright in this country if you believe like me. that we have a responsibility to stand up and walk with our union so that everybody has collective bargaining rights in this country. If you believe like me, that you want to have the guarantee of good health care in this country without some corporation trying to tell you what you cannot have and should not fight for, I hope that you'll join this movement now. I want to speak specifically to an issue that has been focused on in this race. To my Jewish American sisters and brothers, one of the most indelible memories of this campaign will have been the opportunity to break bread with you at Seder, to worship with you at Shul, to be embraced by you. And listening to sisters and brothers who said, you know, I want to join this movement because AIPAC doesn't speak for me. Because I understand that self-determination for one people does not require the quenching of self-determination for another people.
Also, when someone says self-determination for Palestinians, to me, it's the equivalent of doing this.
Unless all of us are free, none of us are free. I want to tell you the great gift that you've given me. And to all of my sisters and brothers of the Jewish faith, or any faith at all, or no faith at all, I want you to know that my commitment to your safety, my commitment to Jewish safety, is the same commitment that I have to the safety of my own daughters. Because if there is one question of a political philosophy that ought to animate us all, is what would we build, what would we do if we treated all of our kids like they were all of our kids? How would we spend our money? Where would we put our investment? How would we embrace one another? What kind of schools would we build? What kind of healthcare would we offer? What kind of jobs would we protect? And I say this because there could not be a greater contrast between that philosophy and the cynicism of Mike Rogers. See, Mike's a guy who spent 14 years in Congress with one goal: to figure out how to cash out the day he left. And guess what he did? As soon as he left Congress, after having taken corporate check after corporate check after corporate check to empower the corporations to pick your pockets, he went and he cashed out. Not in Michigan. No, winters are too cold for him. He's got thin skin after all. He went to Florida. So, Mike, if you want to be a Florida man, go be a Florida man. If you want to golf in Florida, go golf in Florida. But I promise you in November, we are going to send you back to Florida.
Lemon Mincat, hello, says, hello, I was just in another live stream, but I am in Michigan and voted for Abdul. I know he's not a leftist, but he is better than Stevens. I can't convince people across the world. Wait, someone said he's not pro-Palestine? What do you mean he's not pro-Palestine? Isn't he very pro-Palestine and very anti-funding Israel and stuff? And also, Lemon Cat, congrats for voting on Abdul. Congrats on the victory. I'm happy he won. I think people should vote for Abdul. We were just talking about voting earlier. I think there's no harm as long as the candidate stands for things that you believe in and you're not making a massive compromise in your own beliefs. Support him, but don't stop at voting. Don't let your action end at voting. Vote for him, but then demand follow through with whatever policies he said he was going to run on. Make sure that they accomplish that. Call your representatives, protest, mobilize, revolt. Like voting is the smallest tool in your toolkit. It's the easiest thing you can do. Everything else requires real work, and that's where the real work comes in. Voting, that's the first step. Now you have to follow through and make sure that he follows through on what he said. But don't depend on the U.S. government. Don't depend on people you vote for to actually make a difference. Be ready to demand those things in the streets with a very loud voice. And I'm sure that you are. Psionic Nomad says, thanks for the good time, Anthony. I got to get focused on work, so I'll listen to the replay later. Hell yeah, thank you for being here, Psionic Nomad. And thank you for being a member and supporting the channel. That means a lot.
Mike Rogers is a guy who wants to put a data center in your backyard so he can make himself feel a little bit more manly by making an AI video. Mike Rogers is a guy who has never shied away from a DTE check so he could turn his face in the direction of Florida. Mike Rogers is a guy who will do anything Blue Cross Blue Shield wants him to do, including raise your rates. Mike Rogers is a guy who introduced legislation to increase the flow of opioids. He did that while I was in high school. Mike Rogers is a guy whose politics and vision and perspective are old. Mike Rogers is a guy who has never shied away from a corporation he could do a favor for. Mike Rogers is a guy who, believe it or not, went back to Florida so he could lick every single boot Donald Trump owns to beg for his endorsement. I'm so sorry. If you want a senator who's going to lick some boots, fine, go vote for Mike Rogers. But if you want a senator who's going to stand up to Donald Trump, then you've got your option right here. And what's funny about Mike Rogers is that, and then he swore up and down, fight for an America that is America for all of her kids. That's what this is about, building a movement to take our democracy back, to serve the people who absolutely deserve the best of what America has to offer them. That's the commitment all of us are making. So whether you voted for me or voted for my opponent or didn't vote at all, we're inviting you to that movement to get money out of politics so we can put money back in pockets and finally guarantee the promise of health.
Haley Stevens and I are going to work to get money out of politics. By the way, Haley Stevens took $60 million of dark money, but she's going to help me get money out of politics. Again, you don't have to say that. You don't have to say that. Don't mention her at all, because that just ruins your credibility, man. Okay? Just don't mention Haley Stevens.
Care through Medicare for all. And I'm so honored for all of the folks who've already invested, to all the folks who haven't. I cannot wait to meet you, and let's go win in November.
Jules Sheik says, yep, Jessica affirms Israel's right to exist. Look, in American politics, I don't think anyone can get elected if they say Israel doesn't have a right to exist, or at least not yet. I think in his heart, he feels like he wants to say Israel doesn't have a right to exist. I think Zohran Mamdani wants to say Israel doesn't have a right to exist, but I think to them that is like political suicide, so no one is ready to take that step, I think. Okay. This is kind of cool, though. The Democratic Party Civil War, James Carville and Hassan Piker face off. Did they actually talk with each other? Why doesn't he sit down with James Carville, man? We're not going to watch his speech. Let's watch a little bit of this.
A blowhard.
I think these guys failed so spectacularly.
When you say progressive left, there's a tone of contempt there.
I hope the camera was able to pick up the contempt.
There are a lot of people who are just like, this is not working. Democrats haven't done anything about it.
They never win.
Have they been given a chance?
You know who's going to decide the future of the Democratic Party? Let me break the news to you. They ain't that liberal, okay?
Pro-Israel politics is so poisonous in the Democratic Party.
There's no place for criticism of the government of Israel in the Democratic Party.
Will you endorse the 2028 candidate if they are pro-Israel? How are you feeling about the midterms?
I feel very good, but...
Chris, the old man is James Carville, longtime political sort of like consultant, commentator, pundit.
The only thing that can derail us is we could nominate some of the wrong candidates in the wrong place and not be as successful as I hope. But it's going to be massive. I mean, in spite of anything, we're going to win that thing.
The wrong candidates, what do you mean by that?
I see challenges from the, quote, progressive left, unquote. And these people are too hard-headed to know that they're not.
Chris, no, we do not like him. Like, vote blue no matter who Democrats like him. Liberal Zionists like him. Milquetoast Democrats might like James Carville. I used to think he was cool back in the day, before I really dove deep into American politics. But now he's just a vote blue no matter who kind of crazy, you know, liberal Zionist, DNC, shill, you know, anti-democratic socialists.
Popular. People don't like them. And, but if you get a skewed turnout in a primary, you might end up losing a race that you should have never lost in the first place.
When you say progressive left, you sort of, there's a tone of contempt there.
Yeah, so you were very wise. Hope the camera.
Polgarocha says he looks like one of them furless cats. He does look like a furless cat.
Was able to pick up the contempt.
This is high definition, yeah.
Yes. They don't win elections. They never run against Republicans. They just run against other Democrats.
Democrats? They run against other Democrats.
The only message is, we're going to blow everything up. Okay, great. And they run for president. They never win. They are the...
Have they been given a chance?
Huh?
Who?
Let's take over. Let's think of somebody. Bernie Sanders. Bernie Sanders ran for president twice. You know what he did twice? He lost. By a lot.
James Carville says this is all going to implode at the general election.
Yeah, as opposed to previous neoliberal Democratic candidacies that have been spectacular successes so far. You know, Hillary Rodham Clinton in 2016 and Kamala Harris in 2024. I think these guys have failed so publicly and so spectacularly that it has caused people to seek out alternatives. I don't think I'm like exceptionally good at proselytizing the gospel of socialism necessarily. I think there are a lot of people who are just like, this is not working. Cost of living crisis is completely out of control. Democrats haven't done anything about it. Republicans haven't done anything about it. There has to be a different alternative. And a lot of people are also very frustrated with the rise of Trumpism, rise of MAGA, rise of fascism in this country. They're scared. There's a lot of instability. And they see the Democratic Party as insufficient in dealing with Trumpism. And they go out there in the streets, they want to demonstrate. Who do they see on the streets? People like me. They see DSA, they see PSL. They see these organizations that have never stopped protesting. They don't stop protesting when Democrats are in charge. They don't stop protesting when Republicans are in charge. Why do they do that? Because the issues persist.
Do you know who Hassan Piker is?
Yes.
What do you think of him?
Blowhard.
A what?
A blowhard.
Blowhard? What the fuck's a blowhard? I don't like Hassan Piker. I don't like him one bit.
Name me one Democrat in a tough election that wants Hassan Piker to come in and campaign with him in a general election. Do you think that Talrico is going to invite Hassan Piker to come to Texas? I don't. You think John Ossoff is going to invite him to come? I don't.
John Ossoff? I don't think Hassan wants to campaign for John Ossoff, my guy.
Think Roy Cooper? No. And I mean,
he's just naming like shitty vote blue no matter who Zionist chills.
He's a niche guy.
Do you think, candidates that embrace you in the primary process might want to tuck you away in the general election?
Maybe. But I think that'd be a mistake. Because the reality is, not only do I have a lot of passionate door knockers and organizers in my community, but also outside of that, I represent a position that is objectively popular. The criticism
I don't like Hassan's tie here. Gotta say it.
Of Israel. That is the overwhelming majority's perspective. So I think simply leaning in to attack ads and saying, oh, you're right, that this person is bad, actually. This person was wrong. It was wrong of me to identify or and align with him.
Hassan likes Ossoff. I saw like a tweet that he's horrible. Genova96 with 5 gifted memberships. Let's fucking go. W's in the chat for Genova, folks. Genova96 coming in with 5 gifted, blessing us with gifts. Congrats, everybody who just got a membership. Let's fucking go. Got 10 new members today. 5 gifted from our brother Genova96 and 5 gifted from us at the channel right here. We're done with free memberships for the month, guys. We're done. Genova, thank you so much. It's fucking awesome. Appreciate you. Very much appreciated. Let me look at the John Ossoff thing. Where did I find that, man? Oh my God, where am I going to find that? It was bad because I remember people used to like him, right? He's not good. Oh, Kamala Harris just endorsed Abdul said you have to, lady. Where can I find this John Ossoff thing? Was it John Ossoff? Yes, but I can't remember what it was. John Ossoff, Zionist? Where is it? Ossoff owns Israel bonds? That wasn't the tweet that I saw, but what is this? Ossoff built credibility among some progressives when he voted for proposals by Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders aimed at limiting arms sales to the country, but Jewish Democrats in Georgia expressed feelings of betrayal over his vote in November 2024. 5 months later, Ossoff voted against 2 of Sanders' amendments that would have blocked $8.8 billion in arms sales to Israel. Ossoff could also face attacks from the left over his ownership of bonds in the state of Israel totaling $1,000 to $15,000, which were noted in this 2024 financial. God, I can't remember what it was, but it was like, I was like, holy shit, this guy sounds like a piece of shit. But I can't remember what that tweet was. And I'm not going to spend too much time finding it here.
Abdul could have done that in the primary as well. It was very risky for him to say, no, this is ridiculous. Yeah, I have disagreements with him, but who cares? He's a Twitch streamer, you know? And I think that's an honest message.
Lemonman Cat says spooky scary socialist has a video about Ossoff.
That's something that people can understand. And as long as he sticks to the issues, as long as he keeps fighting for Medicare for all and keep fighting for policies that will improve people's lives, that's what people are going to vote for. The rest of it is just noise. You look silly if you try to consistently take the conversation back to an allegiance that a politician might have with a Twitch streamer. If the other side is saying, I want to give people health care, it's not a great message.
In the primary process, of course, he has become this sort of central part of a debate, right, about the future of the Democratic Party.
And I think that's an honest message.
Let me tell you, we're going to have a debate about the future of the Democratic Party. In the Democratic primaries of 2028, in Hassan Piker and the progressives, you know who's going to decide the future of the Democratic Party? Let me break the news to you. Democratic primary voters, primarily Southern black Democratic primary voters. Let me further break the news to you because I happen to have hung around Southern black people all of my life. They ain't that liberal, okay? But that's that. Now, I'm sure with some on the left.
Okay, I couldn't find the scary. What did he say about black people?
Let me tell you, we're going to have a debate about the future of the Democratic Party. In the Democratic primaries of 2028, in Hassan Piker and the progressives, you know who's going to decide the future of the Democratic Party? Let me break the news to you. Democratic primary voters, primarily Southern black Democratic primary voters. Let me further break the news to you because I happen to have hung around Southern black people all of my life. They ain't that liberal, okay? But that's...
So Southern black people are the ones who hold the keys to the election and they're not that liberal?
Now, I'm sure what some on the left would say, well, we have to have another process. No, we don't. And what Hassan Piker needs to do is run for president. If everybody agrees with you, good, run. Go, cat, go. I think everybody ought to run. And I think that the judgment of Democratic primary voters is what I'm going to follow. But if you claim that there's all of this energy and this activism...
Jesse G. Troy, we're going to restart the whole thing. I got you.
Then, okay, have at it. Mm-hmm. Run for president.
You're allowed to take part in the democratic process.
I don't say I was right.
Took the hat off, got too hot in here. Look at that beautiful dome, huh?
Of course you are. I don't run for office. What I'd say is, why do these people call themselves Democrats? Call yourself Democratic Socialists. Maybe what we need...
I mean, I think a lot of them do, right?
Good, but don't call yourself Democrat. But we're on watch you. There's no place, any place for criticism of the government of Israel in the Democratic Party. There's no place for anti-Semitism. But if you want to be anti-Semitic, go form your own party. The reason that most people...
Just fuck off, dude, you old fucking piece of shit. Fucking crypt keeper.
Democratic Socialists. Maybe what we need...
I mean, I think a lot of them do, right?
Good, but don't call yourself Democrat. But we're on watch you. There's no place, any place for criticism of the government of Israel in the Democratic Party. There's no place for anti-Semitism. But if you want to be anti-Semitic, go form...
He said there's no place for the criticism of Israel? Like, is he being serious?
Form your own party. The reason that most people become Democrats is the same reason that I did. I don't hate anybody. I have a big issue with the government of Israel.
Yeah.
I worked in Israel. It was part of the closest set in history that ever come to having a deal.
You worked in Israel, huh?
And I am a full supporter of the right of a Jewish state on the Eastern Mediterranean. I think the only way to have that is you have to have a corresponding Palestinian state, fully recognized. You have to have security zones. You have to have massive aid to the Palestinian state. And we got to have peace and not war. Now, I can't stand Netanyahu. And the big change...
But what about the rest of the fucking government? What about the people?
Change that I've seen in Israel is they used to actually try to get people to like them. They don't do that anymore. And I detest the settlements. Right? And I would love to see policy changes in the government of Israel. But I am a firm believer in the state of Israel. Two different things.
I'm a firm believer in the state of Israel. I believe that they should do what they did to the Palestinians and should take that land, occupy it, genocide them.
Sure.
Never to be confused.
I was a
believer in the policy changes in the government of Israel. But I am a firm believer in the state of Israel. Two different things.
Sure.
Never
Go fuck yourself, you fucking ghoul.
to be confused.
I was with you at the DNC.
We need security zones. Yeah, Miles Murphy, we need security zones to protect the Israelis from the Palestinians. I have no idea what he means. Security zones, so like between the Palestinian theoretical state and the Israelis, I think there's got to be like a buffer zone. So it's not just a Palestinian state bordering the Israeli state. There's got to be security buffers in between, I think. That's what he means. Because you can't have Arabs next to Israelis.
In 2024, where you said you didn't endorse Harris. Will you endorse the 2028 candidate if they are pro-Israel in a way that you don't like? I mean, if you ultimately are about defeating fascism in this country as you describe it, MAGA, whatever, surely shouldn't you get on board with whoever the main candidate is?
Luckily, I don't think I'm going to have to make that calculation at all. Because, again, pro-Israel politics is so poisonous in the Democratic Party especially, that there is, and I'm telling you right now as a promise, and you'll see, 0% chance that whoever the elected Democrat is that wins the primary will be pro-Israel in any way, shape, or form. And I will do everything in my power to make sure that that doesn't happen regardless, but I don't think I'll have to push too much. And you'll see. Rahm Emanuel is a great example of this. Rahm Emanuel himself is very critical of Israel now. Very, very critical of Israel. And it's clear that he has ambitions of higher office, and he sees which way the winds are blowing. It's not going to happen. So that's not even a problem. But I do...
So Hassan is pretty confident that like the Americans aren't even going to elect a pro-Israeli to be the Democratic representative for president. He apparently, I think at this point, he feels like there's no way, if you are a Democrat and if you're pro-Israel, you don't even have a shot at getting the nomination, which I don't know if I agree with that. I mean, Kamala Harris was the latest nominee. Biden was president for 8 fucking years, like for 4 years. Like, what the?
Warn, just as I did in 2019 with Joe Biden, that if we don't have a bold, progressive candidate.
Art chair, thank you. It says you're going to build me shelves. Art chairs. I would love a shelf, but it would have to be the same shelf that I have. I want it to be matching. So that's why I might have to talk to my guy, or you might have to see what kind of wood I'm working with, because I have like real wooden shelves and I want to just extend them. So I want kind of like the same kind of vibe, you know?
As someone who can take advantage of the momentum of the growing socialist movement in this country, seek to improve the material conditions of the working class in this country, it's going to be worse than Donald Trump next time around. Just as Donald Trump 2 was far worse than Donald Trump 1.
Okay. Now there's a full episode of this. Okay, guys, we got a couple of more things to talk about, then I'm going to let you guys go. Sorry, it took a bit longer than expected. Just open up a couple of... We got a couple of H3 updates, believe it or not. And I want to talk about Ariana Grande real quick, and then we'll call it a day. And then I'll be streaming again on Tino's Playroom. Hopefully I'll see you guys there. Eli Roth. We can talk about Eli Roth. Okay, let's get into Asmongold real quick before I get too tired. Fart Twain sends a $5 donut. Thank you so much, Fart Twain. Appreciate you. Says, AB made me angry after saying nothing, giving nothing, not once mentioning. After all the work is done, he posts a story bragging about Abdul winning. Oh, really? See, I'm so out of the loop on what AB and the crew's doing, other than that time we talked about the crew not being allowed to stream together and not do anything to compete with H3. I have no idea what the fuck AB's up to. So he's never once campaigned for Abdul, never did any money raising, or now he's bragging that. And yeah, AB is from Michigan, right? He's from Detroit, Michigan. So he should have been the loudest supporter He's not allowed to support him because it doesn't support the H3 view. If AB supports Abdul publicly, it might get Ethan angry. Why aren't you supporting Haley Stevens, AB? We're a Haley Stevens household over here at the H3 family. Thank you for letting us know, Fartwain. Thank you for always supporting the channel, Fartwain, and for always bringing us these fun facts while we're streaming, hitting me with all that H3 knowledge. Appreciate you, Fartwain. Thank you so much. But yeah, maybe he felt like Abdul had no chance of winning, so he didn't want to look like a chump. I don't know what it is. I guess he doesn't want to upset the overlords. I think at this point, you don't want to upset the overlords. You don't want to upset GWAM. Isn't GWAM like pro Haley Stevens and anti Abdul Sayed or something? So GWAM is basically AB's boss now. GWAM has overtaken AB as Ethan's favorite. She's now the boss. So you can't upset GWAM. You can't upset Ethan and Hila, right? Asmongold. Hassan Abbey Productions posted this clip of Asmongold. Asmongold says undocumented children need to get shot if they cross the border with their parents. Now, this motherfucker had the gall to call me like crazy and talk shit about me when I made a comment that like his dad raised a shitty son. Let's watch this. Let's see what this terribly raised human being has to say about shooting migrants. Let me just hide the sub goal so we can see his disgustingness in full HD.
Always, this is emotional blackmail, right? Well, you can't shoot these people. They have kids with them. Well, then don't bring your kids.
Oh, what is the volume is so bad, man.
Kids. Always, this.
Let's find a better clip.
Should just fucking shoot him. Like, I've said this before. Like, I know that it might sound is shoot him, problem solved. That's what I would do. That's what I think they should. I think they should just fucking shoot him. Like, I've said this before. Like, I know that it might sound like, oh, well, you shouldn't do that. I have no sympathy for doing that, and I would do that in a second because it's the right.
What could even be said about how disgusting, how gross this human being is? Just how fucking just nasty you are, man. What a horrible person, dude. What a horrible fucking person who actually has the gall to like insult people and call people out. Just you're lucky you have a massive audience, you disgusting freak. That's the only reason he feels confident to say crazy shit like this. Because he's got an audience of fucking idiotic morons that are more idiotic than he is. This motherfucker should be banned off of fucking Twitch. Are you kidding me? For saying this?
Right thing to do in the long term. You can never look at in a very, very isolated.
Looking the way you do, you Smeagol ass looking motherfucker. You fucking Gollum ass piece of shit. Holy shit, man.
Incident. You could say, and there's always this is emotional blackmail.
Also, just cut your hair, man. Cut your fucking hair. Like, shave it off. At this, you look fucking hideous. Losing all of his hair, which is, again, we love our bald kings, but shave. There's more dignity in shaving your hair than doing whatever the fuck you're doing. Look at his last remaining strands of hair. Dry ass fucking hair, by the way. Look at how dry these fucking strands of hair are. Okay? Fighting for their fucking life. You look disgusting. Shave your hair. Shave your head. You look horrific like this, man. Straight up looking like Smeagol. You like Lord of the Rings, don't you? It's all white cast.
Right? Well, you can't shoot these people. They have kids with them. Well, then don't bring your kids. If you don't want to get shot, then don't bring your fucking kids. It's really simple. You mean you'd shoot adults and deport the kids, right? Well, I'd shoot whoever.
Warwick says, Anthony has no idea how unlikely it is there are two Dominican leftists from Dominican Republic in chat. Let's fucking go, Dominican Republic. Hell yeah, Warwick, welcome. Who's the second? I love how Latinos say ja, ja, ja.
Yeah, I'd shoot whoever. I mean, if it's kids, women, men, anybody, just shoot them. They're going to stop coming over. You mean you'd shoot adults and deport the kids, right? Well, I'd shoot whoever. Yeah, I'd shoot whoever. I mean, if it's kids, women, men, anybody, just shoot them.
Base, yeah, base, shoot the kids. That makes you look so fucking cool, man. That's fucking awesome. Yeah, the 50 gifted subs.
They're going to stop coming over. Because if you don't do that, they'll use children and women as shields to get themselves over. And then they'll put more women and children at risk because they know that they can use them as collateral so they can get more of themselves over. That's the way it works.
So he wants the U.S. government to shoot kids to protect women and children. Don't you see? Shooting women and children is actually defending women and children. He's a hero.
That's the way an animal thinks, and these people are animals. They're savages. Absolute fucking savages. Hamas tactics, yeah, terrorists. Of course you don't want to do that.
Bro, the world's most disgusting fucking Neanderthal-looking motherfucker with 12 hairs still hanging off his fucking scalp, hasn't bathed in ages, he's got 12 cockroaches walking up his asshole right fucking now, talking about savages? You're talking about savagery? You disgusting pig? And I'm the asshole for saying that he wasn't raised right? That he was failed by his parents? I'm the asshole?
Doesn't mean you want to do it. But you have to do what you need to do in order to enforce your borders, man. Like, that's the way it is. People are too emotional to see that. Yeah, I mean, like, again, like, it's... You can't make decisions that way. And I understand the way that I talk about this might be a little bit extreme. It might be a little bit, unemotional. I wish we had more people like me. I do. I wish we had more, because we got too many pussies that are too worried about the optics of something rather than the reality of it.
انت روح يا badass انت. Look, انت الking. انت, you're the man. You're the roach king. Well, everybody's a pussy except fucking Asmongold, right? Big boy. Big strong man over here, huh? Big strong man. Let's see how you handle yourself in any fucking dangerous situation in real fucking life. Holy shit, dude. That would be fucking pathetic. Can he even do 20 push-ups? Can you do a pull-up?
The reality of it is that if you allow people to use kids as a shield to come over, they're going to use kids as a shield to come over. And that's going to cause a net...
So kill the kids. That's what you mean? Fucking dumbass.
Net increase of child exploitation, a net increase of child suffering. And it's better to just say nobody can come over and shoot anybody than try to create winning solutions for these people so they can take advantage of them by further exploiting those groups of people that you think you don't want to shoot. That's just...
I was not following the logic at all, but sure, go ahead, man.
You say you shoot kids? Yeah. No, that's. I mean, obviously that's what I said, right? I mean, like that's clearly like. I mean, that's. Like, I don't know why. Like, why would you repeat it to me as if I didn't say it? That's literally exactly what I said. That's the reasoning for it. That's my logic. That's exactly what I would do, and I wouldn't even have any question for it. Come on, well, I'm gonna pull one more up. Keep the kids to...
Bro, his teeth, his gums, the shape of his mouth. He's got like... It's such an unfortunate looking man. Like, it's just so unfortunate, you know?
Support their families? What do you think the kids do? The kids grow up and they resent you for supporting their families to turn to terrorists. No. You present a very specific scenario, just shooting into a crowd, and now there happen to be kids too? Of course, because that's the reality. Because if you have kids in the crowd, then kids are going to get killed in the crowd. Then you're going to use the emotional weight of the kids getting killed in the crowd as a justification to not shoot the crowds. But you think that shooting the crowds is the correct option, which means that you would be okay taking the risk of killing the kids, which means that killing the kids is somehow acceptable, which means that doing...
Jesus, I can't even... I mean, yeah, of course. If someone supports Israel, if someone supports a genocide, if someone believes that certain cultures are more barbaric than others and deserve to be wiped out, this is what they're going to say. When you support one government shooting and killing kids, you're going to support another government killing and shooting kids. It doesn't matter, right? Kids shouldn't be killed. Kids shouldn't be shot. Point à la ligne. That's it. But when you're a Zionist, when you allow one country to murder children, you're going to allow other countries to murder children. This is when... This is the point that I kind of like. Spoilers for the Odyssey. Just for the next 10 seconds, everybody do this. 20 seconds, don't listen to me. It's not even a spoiler. It's sort of a twist. At the end of the Odyssey, Matt Damon's character, Odysseus, expresses regret about conquering Troy because he says when they conquered Troy, they broke Zeus's law. And by breaking Zeus's law, by opening the dam to this level of horrible violence, they're now going to normalize this violence around the world. And once that's it for spoilers, and that's kind of what I liked about the Odyssey was that they subverted that whole thing. Whereas we're in the novel and in the book, you know, they celebrate the victory at Troy and they celebrate the sacking of Troy. In the movie, Matt Damon looks at it with regret, you know, with shame, because he knows what it's going to lead to. And this is how you can compare it to real life. Now, when you see the violence in Israel, those that aren't affected by it negatively and that don't feel for it with the people of Palestine emotionally, they're going to become like Asmongold. It sets a new standard for violence, and it normalizes an insane amount of violence, and the world will never be the same again. The world can never go back to what it was post-Gaza.
That is not a big deal, and you'd be okay with it as well.
Thumbs up. You can listen, guys. You can listen. You can listen. Spoilers are done. No more spoilers. I did have a spoilers button, didn't I? Oh, it was on the laptop, I think.
You're ignoring how the sausage is made because you don't want to feel bad about the outcome. But the reality is that any way that you logically deduce this reality, you will immediately come out with bad behavior. You understand? You just create a human shield defense? Of course. All I'm saying is don't pull the kids aside and shoot them if you had a choice. I don't think they should pull them aside. No one wants to feel bad about the outcome.
They shouldn't pull them aside. They should just shoot them. That's what I think.
Well, of course. I mean, like, yeah. Actually, I don't care about feeling bad about the outcome at all. I care about feeling bad about that I did the wrong thing.
Who's going to mourn this guy when he eventually dies of, like, neglecting his health and his body? Who's going to mourn this guy? There's no one left on this earth that's going to be sad when you die, my guy. Except Elon Musk. Elon Musk will shed a tear for you, Asmongold. Other than that, I think the world's good. I think we'll be fine. Just keep drinking that Mountain Dew. Keep eating that fast food. Keep eating those Doritos. Just keep doing it. Dude, the autopsy results are going to be quite something. When this man goes, just the level of Mountain Dew in his bloodstream, it's going to be crazy. He died of Mountain Dew. He just had way too much Mountain Dew and rat feces. His stomach is full of Mountain Dew and rat shit. We don't know how it got there, but that's all this man consumed. Ethan will mourn. Yeah, Ethan Klein, of course, will mourn Asmongold. You know, forced Casey Tron to do an apology for him. Hassan shares Asmongold's video and says, you can get away with saying and doing pretty much anything if you're a right-wing Trump supporter who defends Israel. The entire national media has been calling me a dangerous radical for stumping for anti-war candidates who will fight for Medicare for all. Even the commentary sphere online never says anything about this guy's insane rhetoric. I've been around the country. Let me tell you, people aren't like this. They're trying to make ends meet, but they're ultimately kind, curious, and open-minded. What we see online is a carefully curated algorithm making us more vicious. It's not how the real world is. It's shocking that this guy has an audience. Genuinely, it's fucking shocking. Or at least an audience as large as he does have. You'd think someone who speaks like this has a small, fringe, weirdo fucking audience. But this guy's like a mainstream fucking gamer who also tells you, hey, yeah, you should be able to shoot kids. I don't care. Fucking ban this guy off of fucking Twitch, dude. Let him go stream on fucking Kick. Or was this a Kick clip? This was right. This was on Kick. Was this even on Twitch? Mithy says, need to encourage him to keep guzzling pop in McDonald's. Exactly. Just keep, he's handling the problem himself. You know, the problem will have its own solution. He's solving the problem himself. Just keep doing what you're doing, Asmongold. Keep living the way you're living. Don't get any sunshine. Eat fast food. Drink Mountain Dew. And problem should be solved. Sooner rather than later. GWAM! Girl with the microphone shared this. Grape Tickler, who anytime I post something fucking with GWAM or H3, I got Grape Tickler in my comments responding. Says, my hero, and it's another meme of Hassan. It says, considering booking a flight to Gaza, there's only economy seating. So again, another going to Gaza joke. A country that is facing a genocide, ethnic cleansing, occupation, daily deaths, murders. She did the same with Lebanon. Go to Lebanon. Go to Lebanon. Says, now that, GWAM says, now that's funny. Ooh, that's funny. That's hilarious. My hero, considering booking of, she can't, and I told her, to be fair, she's making the joke about Gaza. I told her, if you make one more go to Lebanon joke, I'm a fucking comforter for that ass lady. Now, she made it about Gaza again. And I just put out a quick tweet 4 hours ago. Some lol, Israel systematically murdering journalists is so hilarious. You're right. Hassan is such a pussy for not going to an act of genocide. That's a tight little fuckable joke. By the way, invite to visit South Lebanon to do a mukbang is still open. I'll get you the best fried chicken. Thank you. Not ya JPEG. Not JPEG. But I mean, again, like, lol. Israel kills people. That's why Hassan doesn't want to go. That's so funny. Hey, Hassan, why don't you want to go to Gaza, huh? Why don't you want to go to Gaza? So funny. This one's funny. Now that's funny. That's what she finds hilarious, huh? Hilarious joke. Oh, look, she doesn't like John Fetterman. That's a shock. Let's see. Does she support Abdul al-Sayed? Oh my God. She retweeted Haley Stevens. I love Michigan and I'm so proud to have put up my hand to serve. I spoke with Abdul a few moments ago to offer him my full support as we work to defeat Mike Rogers this November. Thank you, Michigan. Dude, she was 100%. She's 100% a Haley Stevens supporter. Holy shit, she had to retweet Haley Stevens. And then she retweets Dr. Abdul al-Sayed saying, putting your hand up to participate in democracy is no easy thing. Thank you for running, Congresswoman. Looking forward to uniting this fall to beat Mike Rogers because what unites us is so much bigger than what divides us. Oh yeah, what unites us is so much bigger than what divides. You think Medicare for All is more uniting than your division on genocide, my guy? You think supporting some, you think you have more in common with someone because you want to give Medicare for All and you're against Republicans than you being against a genocide? La Aide, fuck Medicare for All, fuck lowering rent costs, fuck whatever it is that you have in common with her versus genocide. What? You see, already losing respect for this guy, man. What the fuck does that mean? What unites us is so much bigger than what divides us. I'm sorry, no, it is not. Being divided because of genocide, because of funding an ethno-state, a genocidal ethno-state that is murdering people in both Lebanon and Israel, in Israel, they're leading to the death of their own people, killing people in Lebanon, Palestine, building bases currently right now in South Lebanon. But what unites us is so much bigger than what divides us. What divides us is this teeny little matter of Palestine and Israel and genocide. That's a small little difference. It's just a tiny little difference that we have. What unites us, though, Medicare for All. The fuck? That makes no sense, folks. That makes no sense. So that's another hilarious joke from a girl with a microphone. Now that's funny. Okay, considering booking flight to Israel, books flight to Israel. Weren't you invited to go to Lebanon by Do Not Worry Pod? What's taking you so long? It's my boy. Just someone says using Gaza for a punchline. She says Hassan is the punchline always. It's ridiculous to use Gaza in your jokes to hurt a streamer. You're a perfect fit for the H3 podcast. Stick it to him because he couldn't go to Gaza. Is that the joke? Why couldn't he go to Gaza, Kate? God, I just want to say some horrible shit to this person, but I'm not. I'm not going to. Yeah. And guys, I'm so hungry. I'm getting hungry. 9:17 already. Okay, one more H3 thing. Kilotonics yesterday tweeted out that Ethan Klein hasn't yet filed his notice for appeal for the loss against Denims. He has until August 13th to start the appeal process, and today he tweets, never mind. So apparently Ethan Klein has filed his appeal. United States District Court for the District of Central District of California for notice of appeal from a judgment or order of United States Court. Blah, blah, blah. June date case was filed on June 19th. Date of judgment, you're appealing July 13th. Docket entry number 49. List of appellants, TED Entertainment. So Ethan Klein has officially filed his appeal to try to take down Denims. Denims, the queen of fair use. So let's go. Good luck to Denims. Fuck Ethan. All right. Quick Ariana Grande follow-up, because we talked about it a couple days ago. I was a little bit uncomfortable talking about it because, look, I'm a man. I'm not a fan of Ariana Grande's. Like, I don't really, like, I've never been a fan. So to be like, I'm genuinely concerned Like, I don't really care about her in person, but I do think this is a celebrity that is out there prancing about, being used by her management, by her family, by people that are making tons of money off of her work. And she looks completely unhealthy. She's very skinny. She's got millions of young female fans who are getting a wrong impression and the wrong idea about beauty standards. And she is, you know, she's been very insistent that she's fine, etc. Now, her management team put out a statement a couple of days ago that Ariana Grande is stepping back from the limelight for a little while. She's just finished filming Meet the Fockers. She's stepping away from a play she was supposed to be on. She's no longer going to do that play. And once her tour is done at the end of August, so she's going to take a few months off, and then she'll only come back to do some promo, I think, for Meet the Fockers or whatever. So she addressed the whole controversy at one of her concerts a couple days ago.
So basically, the announcement that was made yesterday was not a reactive or impulsive.
Jesus Christ, sorry, there's a bike outside being so fucking loud.
So basically, the announcement that was made yesterday was not a reactive or impulsive thing. It is something that I had decided. It's a plan that I had quietly made a long time ago, and it's a decision that was made from a thoughtful and empowered place. And I want you to know that many things can be true at the same time. I want to share this because I heard that my fans were worried that negativity was ruining things for me. But I just have to say, that could not be more.
The trend, look, there are some people that are being assholes and that are like bullying her and being cruel. Like, for example, I saw this on Twitter. Is this how you show concern? 2 million people like this, by the way. Y'all are really disgusting, which is like, okay, someone made a caricature of Ariana Grande, made her look terrible. Like, yeah, this is bullying. This is not showing concern. This is straight up bullying and using negativity to try to make your point. But there were so many an overwhelming amount of comments on her latest music video, genuinely coming from a place of concern. We went through them. We fucking looked at them. People being like, we're just concerned about you. We just want you to be happy and healthy. No one, like, please just take care of yourself. No one's trying to be mean. No one's trying to bully you. But I think the way she's looking at it, the way her management is looking at it, is like, they're bullying us. They're being cruel. They're being mean to Ariana Grande, when in fact, I think people just want what's best for her.
The fuck opposite.
Boundaries need to be set, except when you look like a straight up skeleton. Like, look at her arm here, man. Like, I'm sorry. Yeah, boundaries need to be set. You also need to be fed. You need to take care of your eating disorder, and your team needs to help you. Your team has failed you. Your team needs to stop booking projects for you. Your family needs to seriously look at your condition and help you. And this is the last time I'm gonna comment on this. I don't want to fucking join. I don't want to talk about this anymore. But it's like, you look insanely unhealthy. Like, it is not right. And stop trying to gaslight people into thinking that you're being bullied. And I'm sure she has been bullied, and she has faced a lot of probably insanely unfair criticism in the past. And she's been through a fuckload in her life to justify potentially having an eating disorder. It doesn't matter. The causes, that is not up to me to decide. But the reality of the matter is, you do not look like a healthy person right now, and people are just concerned. Chris says Ariana needs an Arab teta to solve her eating it. Right? She needs an Arab grandma. Eat. You can't leave the house until you've had 4 plates. But grandma, I'm full. Eat! That's how it happens here.
Human beings can need a break sometimes and also, this can be and will continue to be the greatest experience of my professional and creative life.
But like, I'm sorry, every fan in that arena right now cheering is an enabler. Like, I'm so sorry. You see this person extremely unhealthy, emaciated, on stage being like, I don't care what the haters say. I'm happy. And they're like, yay, you're great. You're beautiful. You're fantastic. It's like, you shouldn't even be at that concert. If you're fans and you're actually concerned for Ariana Grande and her well-being, you cancel your tickets. You make it a point to not show up and be like, hey, we love you, Ariana. We just want you to take a break. We want you to cancel this tour so you can take care of yourself. That's what a true fan does. You don't cheer. You don't cheer this, man. This is just denial.
So I just wanted to make that quite plain.
You can't hear that. So basically the announcement, if in case you guys couldn't hear, so basically the announcement that was made yesterday was not a reactive or impulsive thing. She told the crowd that it's something that I had decided to plan, that I had quietly made a long time ago, and it's a decision that was made from a thoughtful and empowered place. And I want you to know many things can be true at the same time. I heard that my fans were worried that the negativity was ruining things for me. Actually, your fans are worried about your weight. But I just have to say that you could have been, that could not be more the fuck opposite. Honestly, this is not what that is. And I just want to be very, very clear. Multiple things can be true at the same time. Yes, boundaries, they need to be set. Human beings can need a break sometimes. And also this can and will be continue. Sorry, so this can be and will continue to be the greatest experience of my professional and creative career. No matter what noises exist out there, nothing will ever be able to distort my reality or be more real to me or elaborate to me than this love that we share, she continued. The rest of that shit is not mine to carry, so I don't carry it. I need to get out here and differentiate that from my truth for you all, because I love you, and this tour has been the most healing, beautiful, corrective, magnificent, special experience of my life. Yeah, everyone in that arena is an enabler. I'm sorry. And then Jamila, after everything she said, she made some fantastic points about Ariana Grande and the weight. We were all hailing her as a, you know, as a hero, as a defender. You know, oh, I forgot to, sorry, I got to bring back sub goals back. Okay. Then she put out this fucking cop-out story. She says, Ariana Grande explains this break was planned for a long time and was not a reaction to the public reaction to her work. She wants rest and boundaries, and I think that's great. It's something more people need to do for themselves with a heart. Sure, lady. Jamila's now on the shit list, folks. She's now on the shit list. Useless comment. Fuck is that about, dude? After everything she said and calling around being like, you need to, you know, you're an influence for millions of young girls, etc., etc., she just took her at her word. Oh, she just wants to set boundaries. That's great. We all need boundaries. Take care. I'm out. I guess she got a lot of hate from Ariana Grande fans and she just doesn't want to deal with it anymore. But anyways, what a cop-out way to look at this. These are some of the crazy fans. If you ever participated in any of the discourse surrounding her body, you are the problem. Fuck all of you. Unhinged, insane mother. Who the fuck is this person, dude? Ariana Grande's campaign manager. Really? I have a feeling that's not true. If you've ever participated in any of the discourse surrounding her body, you are the problem. Fuck all of you. Yeah, we're the problem for saying that this massive celebrity with millions of young fans should maybe take care of how she looks because of how it's going to influence her young fans. Absolutely. We're the crazy ones. We're the unhinged ones. Of course. Her mom, Ariana Grande's mother, shows support for her daughter amid criticism over the singer's appearance in the Pedal music video. You are wonderful, and this video is incredible. I loved it, and I love it even more. So this person says, oh, so she for real has no one looking out for her best interests. Bleak. Yeah, it is pretty fucking bleak, isn't it? Someone put this out as well. But only Ariana Grande is responsible for your kids. Okay. Okay, here's the difference. First of all, Zendaya is just like naturally skinny. She's just a tall, lanky person. Zendaya should not be here. Timothée Chalamet, are you kidding me? He's just a fucking skinny little boy. Timothée Chalamet should not be here. Zoe Kravitz definitely might have some, you know, issues. This person, no one knows who the fuck this lady is. Is she the actress from Euphoria? You think people recognize her? Okay, Celine Dion is like 100 years old at this point. So she is irrelevant. She's not the idol for millions of young girls, okay? Celine Dion is dealing with her own shit. This person, I don't know who it is. I don't know who this person is. Zoe Kravitz. Demi Moore was called out. Demi Moore was called out for looking absolutely insane recently. She has been called out. Okay, this guy, I don't think is that skinny. I don't know what's up with this guy. I don't know who the fuck this guy is. But, yeah, Zendaya looks fine, dude. These people all got, like, what's it called? Buccal fat removal. They remove fat from here and it makes it look like this. That's what these people got, okay? That's what she got. That's what Zoe Kravitz got. That's what Demi Moore. Demi Moore is just like, has done hundreds of plastic surgeries, bro. Yeah, and Celine has had health issues. Celine Dion is struggling from, like, so she gets like these seizures. She's been unable to perform for years. She recently performed at the opening of the Olympics, which was like an epic comeback moment for her. But like, she's been dealing with a very heavy duty illness. She lost her husband a few years ago, so she's been battling her own shit. So like, but like, look at all these skinny people. Why are you just yelling at Ariana? By the way, Ariana Grande is more famous than like these three people up here. Okay, Celine Dion still clocks Ariana Grande. So does Zendaya, and so does Timothy. Because Demi Moore is also 100 years old, man. So just a crazy false equivalency right there. Kind of a cop-out argument. And yes, when you see a celebrity that is way too insane, that looks emaciated, it's okay to be like, hey, are they healthy? That's it. Don't make fun of them. Just like question if they're okay and encourage their management to take care of them and not overwork them. Jesse says her documentary made me low-key cry. I watched that documentary on the plane. That was very upsetting. That was an emotional documentary. It was difficult to watch. I think it's called I Am Celine or something like that. And finally, you guys want to hate on some Zionists? Quickly, let's hate on Eli Roth, Zionist director. Eli Roth confirms that generative AI was used in his new horror film, Ice Cream Man. He says it was an opportunity where technology and creativity came together to help bring my vision for the film to life. So if you guys don't know who Eli Roth is, he made movies like Hostel, schlock horror, bloody horror. He's kind of a piece of shit. He also starred in Quentin Tarantino's Inglourious Bastards as the Bear Jew. Now, if you're wondering in the past, these are some of the comments that he's made. Eli Roth is a Zionist, misogynistic creep who should never be supported. I'm not remotely surprised he uses AI slop in his movies. He said this not a long time ago. He said, crew members are horny. They get frustrated that it's not the 1980s anymore and that there are sexual harassment laws that prevent them from hitting on every girl at work. But movie sets are still kind of fair game, a place where people can openly flirt. But crew members often won't hook up or have a locationship because they work with each other again and again. That's where the standards come in. And when it comes to Gaza, he shared this on his Instagram. I'm sure he said some more Unhinged shit. He said, notice who raises hell over Elon Musk's so-called Nazi salute, which was very clearly a Nazi salute. So-called. But has been silent as hostages are released into barbaric mobs in Gaza who chant for death of Jews. And as Yarden Bibas is returned without his wife and children. Their outrage was never about fighting anti-Semitism. It was about virtue signaling and politics. So he's a legitimate piece of shit. He also, I think, celebrated the fact that Greta Thunberg was being arrested. He's that kind of fucking asshole. Let's read his pathetic tale about needing to... So after studio executives pressured Eli Roth to tone down the violence in Borderlands for a PG-13 rating and the movie bombed, he decided to cut the studio out entirely for Ice Cream Man. Roth raised the film's $5.5 million budget himself, mostly through foreign pre-sales and tax credits. It's shot in Canada. Roth expects to only spend a few $1 million on marketing, relying primarily on cheaper digital ads and stunts. Ice Cream Man will be released without a rating, sparing it from battles with the ratings board over scenes of preteens vivisecting and decapitating grown-ups. Oh my god. Dissecting? The part of horror is you're being distasteful, Roth says, and for people in studios, it's hard to be distasteful because they're making stuff that they want to be celebrated and socially acceptable. And part of what you're doing by making a good horror movie is you're being transgressive and you're pushing the boundaries with AI slop. Let's see if there's more about this AI slop here. Bam. Eli Roth admits he's using AI. Roth tells Polygon he previously misspoke, confirming that generative AI was used in a small portion of the upcoming horror film. Haley says, I'm going to be live soon, guys. I'm going to be a little bit late. Director Eli Roth clarified that his upcoming horror film, Ice Cream Man, uses generative AI in a limited capacity after previously telling Polygon that one of his movie's AI-assisted sequences was hand-drawn. The film, a grotesque horror movie about an ice cream truck driver who turns children into homicidal killers, has sparked discussion about its visual style and speculation of its use of AI. A version of the film sent to early reviewers includes AI visual effects company Dark Half in its credits, leading fans online wondering how much of the film was created using generative AI. That speculation contrasted with comments Roth made during a recent interview with Polygon about one of the film's most memorable sequences, an eerie, Fleischer Studios-inspired cartoon that plays on children's phones before seemingly hypnotizing them into becoming killers. Asked how the animation was created, Roth said he had drawn it himself. I have an animation background and I drew it, Roth told Polygon at the time. I worked with an animation team and I wanted it to look and feel like there's an old Mickey Mouse cartoon where he goes to a haunted house and there's brooms and dancing skeletons and this kind of flowing dancing stuff and the jittery style of the animation. So I drew the loop cycles and the styles. Then I had some animators help kind of make it a little more fluid, and I worked with an artist to give it a bit of an old-timey jittery feel, but I sat there and I drew out the frames that I wanted. And I tried to match the style of the 1920s haunted Mickey Mouse cartoons. After Polygon followed up about the film's use of AI, Roth shared an official statement that clarified his earlier comments did not fully capture how the technology was used. I misspoke. AI was used in a very small portion of a few scenes in the film. It was an opportunity where technology and creativity came together to help bring my vision for the film to life. Roth did not specify which scenes used AI or how the technology was incorporated, emphasizing that its use was limited to a very small portion of a few scenes. Polygon followed up with Roth's representatives to clarify which other scenes in Ice Cream Man used AI. We also reached out to Dark Half, the VFX firm in question, via email, but did not receive a response. There you go. More established, rich Hollywood directors embracing AI, making sure that the rest of the next generation of filmmakers have to use AI or be left behind in their fucking slop. So anyways, guys, I really got to go. I went on I thought this was going to be like a 2-hour stream. How did I do 3.5 hours on these topics today? Insane. Insane. Everybody, thank you so much for being here. You will see me live in about 30 minutes, maybe 40 minutes. I'm just going to grab a shawarma sandwich, beef shawarma. Going to eat that. Going to set up the table to work, and we're going to be streaming Lego for like 3 hours. So come meet us at Tino's Playroom in a bit. Come support the channel. Consider becoming a member of Tino's Playroom because we got new memberships, folks. New membership rates. I hope they've applied already, but you guys should be able to. Come join us, have some fun, watch me build a clone army, talk some shit. We're going to nerd out, all right? We're going to have fun. Love you guys. Thank you to everybody who donated today, everybody who sent in a super chat, everybody who sent in memberships. You guys are awesome. You guys are the best. And also, I'm going to be giving out 10 free memberships on Tino's Playroom. So go join there for a chance to get free memberships. Let's fucking go. So I'll see you guys in about 45 minutes. I'm going to delay the other stream for a bit. We love you. We appreciate you. I'm going to get some shawarma. Time codes, shawarma. Break set up, so max in an hour, okay, at worst. Love you all. Peace out. See you later.
Do not worry.